right. What's going on, guys? Let me get back in here and actually, hopefully, I have this thing fixed now. Hopefully, maybe not all the way. Jeez, man, I swear to God, every time there's a freaking update, it screws with everything. Still no music, though. That is weird.
I just gotta say, I won't let it get away. Use fighting words, those were fighting words. This is war. This is what you asked me for. This is war. And my words are the sword. Word sharp is nicely to cut me up and tear me apart, but I won't let them pierce my skin. I've got my armor on, but your army is weak, so don't you dare try to challenge me. Words are weapons. Words are weapons. I just gotta say, I won't let it get away.
All right. Okay. Oh, so, Cosmic. PC doesn't hate me. I hate it. Wara, welcome. RPG, thank you for the gifted in the 8-minute stream we just had. PlayStation doesn't have any games. I know, right, Andre? It's god awful. Uh, it's everything like decided to take a crap on me. So, uh, I don't really know what happened. You're not going to see me up in the Discord for some reason. This whole thing is just. Oh man, I hope y'all really enjoy this show because the only reason I have this freaking PC is to better the experience for everybody watching. That's what it was. Oh my. Okay, I just figured out what it was. Uh, Streamlabs sent me like 4 pop-ups. And so, anyways, can y'all hear me? Also, your chat screen is frozen. Um, Yo, Dan, the marvels of technology sent me like 4 pop-ups. Okay. And so I can hear myself. Windows Update again. No, not a Windows Update. Is I'm guessing the chat's better and everything. Let me see if I can't bring my happy ass back into the Discord so at least y'all can see my little name up there so you know who's talking. All right, there we go. That looks like it done did it. And I am way low on the mic. Okay, okay. Sweet. Yeah, Michael, I'm sorry, dude. Nelson Gaming Culture, what's up, bro? Cosmic Hero, you freaking made it. Yay. Dan S, Josh Ayers, Toolman, RPG 88. And am I missing anybody? I think I might be, but Lord help. Andre Clay and Michael Moradian. Ooh, that sounds good. It has like a good like roll off. Michael Mordian. I don't know if that's right. I'm gonna keep saying it until I get it. Um, Also, as I promised last week, I did update the. Here, let's just come over here. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and cancel the YouTube chat. I did change the name, at least on here, of the Playground Partner Program to the Playground Sleeve Monkeys. And here they are, guys. All of the Sleeve Monkeys. Thank y'all so much for everything that y'all do, for the support that you give the channel. Um, this month, we are just a little bit away from the threshold. And so, yeah, super happy about that. We're only 2 shows in, I believe, maybe 3. And so, really happy we're super close to that. Thank y'all. I think my next emoji is going to be a sleeve monkey, and the head of that monkey is probably going to be Phil Spencer. Uh, or maybe just the Xbox logo, because it really doesn't matter at this point who is in the lead there. Because they're for sure not. And so that's actually a lot of what we're going to talk about today, guys. But I do want to show this out. Thank y'all so much. Several of y'all, if y'all are listening, you might have got an email, you might have got something from YouTube. Several memberships did expire. Folks who I know for fact support the channel. Funny enough, Stephen Leon has gifted like 20 or 25, 30 members or something like that. And so his fell off, but I'm just letting y'all know, hey, more Ray Dian. Moradian. Oh, all right. Well, that took all the fun out of it. I'm sorry, Michael. I appreciate that. More Ray Dian. More Ray Dian. All right. Well, I am a more Ron. So we'll see if I can get this going. Um, and so, yeah. Oh, Josh Ayers, member for 1 month. Oh, wow. It's surreal seeing those. Been a month already. How time flies when you're having fun. Man, speaking of having fun, last week's episode was a freaking blast. I was so hyped up for video games after last week's episode. And so, yeah, it's been a blast, guys. I still can't believe this. As you may notice, Will is not here tonight. He is enjoying a much needed and awesome vacation. So, yeah, we are going to get this thing off of here. And yeah, like I said, y'all can like, subscribe. For goodness sakes, please like and please subscribe. Those help out the channel. We have picked up about 4 new subs, so thank y'all. I don't know who y'all were, but thank you all the same. And if you came this week hoping for different stuff than last week, hey, what's up, Stephen? I was just talking about you. Were your ears burning? Uh, and thanks for becoming a member again. I appreciate that. Welcome to all the sleeve monkeys. And yeah, so if last week you were hoping to come here and you saw the title of it and were like, man, this sucks, man, this guy's just talking about video games, I was hoping to hear some of that playground bull crap. Will 777JP, not only is he here in spirit, but he is here in the chat dropping 5 gifted members. Thank you, Will. See, what's really funny? Y'all, RPG-88 whale bomb. What's really funny is if y'all do that enough, I won't have to talk about anything. I'll just keep thanking everybody. And so, guys, um, anyways, this week we are going to finally get to the um, we're gonna finally get to those topics from last week. So Xbox sucks. Like, there's not a nice way to put it. That's why I didn't put it nicely in the title, because there really isn't a nice way to put it. Uh, Also, hey, Cosmic Hero, Andre Clay, Outsider Gaming Night, Zero Steel, and James Williams. All of y'all were gifted a membership. Cosmic, thank you for already reaching back out to him. Just say thank you to Will. Will, you don't have to do that at all. But I know you like supporting the channel as well. So, once again, like, comment, be active in the chat, do all the freaking things that YouTube likes, do all the stuff. As Josh would say, hit all of the buttons, not a few of them, not a few. YouTube's very picky. It wants you to hit all of them. So hit all the buttons. And Nelson Gaming Culture will feeling generous on his vacation, like FK holding back. That's right. All right. Whoops. Ooh, that was loud. Actually, thank you, Josh. That is now going to be a pinned message. Maybe I should hit all the buttons too. Whoops. Sorry, guys. It was a hell of a day today. Um, and then right before the show, like I thought I was gonna be able to get on here and do my stuff, and I was gonna make it, and then like there was a loud thump on the outside of my son's window, and so I'm sitting here, and my wife comes out of the room because she was getting him to bed tonight because I was doing the setup for the show, and like she comes out and is like, "Hey, did you just knock on the window?" And I was like, "Nah, I thought one of the kids did." And she was like, "No." So then we had to go outside and do the parental thing of like going outside, checking the windows and all of that. And so, anyways, I was late. It's not a huge surprise. It does happen. Thanks, Will. Even the big glowing red one. Why not? It's a button. Yeah, see, the big glowing red one is just a heart over here in the corner for me. See, you can hit all the hearts you want. Was it a bird? No, it wasn't. We thought it was, but it wasn't. We didn't see the bird, so it might have been a bird. It might have hit it and then flew off. But I watch or I used to watch way too much TV to like just rush outside and look at stuff. So, like, that's not something like, listen, white people get a bad rap because it's true. When we hear a noise, we're like, "Ooh, what was that? I want to go see. Can I go see what that was?" And it like, don't like just sit. Just stay seated. If it's really a problem, whoever it is or whatever it is will come to your door. So, anyways, all right, I got to get stuff back on the screen. I am so discombobulated right now. And then technology was fighting against me because of pop-ups. Thank God for pop-ups. All right, so there we go. Oh God, is chat frozen again? I think my life is frozen. No, okay. All right, so as I started out saying, we will be discussing the showcase. We will be discussing a few things that I have saved the from the rotting cesspool that is X. Sometimes you can find some really good information. And we will be talking about games that are skipping Xbox. We will be talking about the PlayStation Network sales and the Plus titles because, dear goodness, there are quite a bit of sales. And how about them games skipping Xbox? Oh, we are definitely getting there. Um, I did the trick that Will taught me how to do. Not really a trick. I actually used X for something that is like built in. I did the thing. And so we will be looking at a couple things that I have bookmarked and yeah, just going over all this crap tonight. It's going to be a night for puffing out your chest. It's going to be a night for taking a nice little stroll around the block. You know, call it a victory lap. And last PlayStation show. Oh, sorry, I was reading X now. Um, so let's jump in. The Xbox Showcase. Who won? And this isn't about the games that showed up. This isn't about all of that. We all talked last week about how awesome of a show it was and how amazing of a show they did and how it was great. I'm not saying they didn't. Oh, by the way, welcome to the playground. Okay, sorry. But last week we talked a ton about video games. This week we're going to get back into some of the nitty gritty. Like, what does this mean? What does it look like for the industry? And I keep saying we because I'm used to having a co-host. I don't have a co-host tonight, so um, hell yeah, 30. You keep using it, it will become a habit, no doubt. Uh, but it it was a great show. The games that they showed, most of them looked good. There was something for everybody. I was super proud of Xbox for putting on a showcase. But what were the major words that were left out of the showcase? Does anybody know? Anybody know? There were there were two words that go in conjunction with each other that were left out of the Xbox showcase. On most things that have a date, they were completely absent. And I just want to know, can anybody think about what those words might have been? They're very important words. Very important when you're trying to, build a console and build a brand. And you're hearing me get water right now because I'm parched. But it's only going to get worse because I'm talking a lot tonight. And so, what words? Let me see. Let's see. Did anybody get there? Two words. Okay. We got one of them. We got one. We got exclusive. Okay. There's another word that. Oh, Josh, you hit the nail on the head, my friend. You hit it on the freaking head. Console exclusive. There wasn't any. There wasn't any. It's just not there. It's not something that's happening. It's not something that's going on. It's not something they're marketing. It's not something they're advertising. They ain't doing it. They're not doing it at all. Nothing. No console exclusives. So when I say Xbox Showcase, who won? I'm not talking about was it a good showcase. Hell, I can look at that and go, it was a freaking amazing showcase. It was probably the best showcase of the Summer Games Fest. I might say it was the best showcase that I've seen all year. Well, maybe not all year. It's the best showcase I've seen. Yeah, all year. It was really good. There's a lot of heat coming. But Xbox didn't win their own showcase. And that's the problem. So, Josh, I'm not ignoring Nintendo. I just don't play a lot of Nintendo. Nintendo had a good showcase. There's a few games coming to Nintendo that are also coming to PlayStation that I am kind of excited about. Oh, Goku 1973. I see that name in the chat and I have to say hello. Heck yeah. Josh, looks like we got a fellow Dragon Ball fan over here. I approve. But you saw nothing at all that said exclusive. And now we're left to wonder, well, what about Indiana Jones? There were rumors right before the showcase that there working on Halo the CE, what the collector edition or whatever. And that they haven't come out and said, as far as I know, that it's going to be exclusive. But 15 of those games are coming to PS. We all win. Yes, when we all play, we all win. We are definitely getting into that tonight. Into blah 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 blah. Mayonnaise. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. All right. Why did Indy and Avowed not have dates? Um, God, I think they do have dates. I know they haven't told us yet. I think they actually do have dates, but I think they're trying to ride whatever good publicity they can right now, so they don't have to tell everybody that they're coming to PS5 also. Kakarot. Shut up, you Vegeta lover. Well, let's be fair. Vegeta is a way better father than Goku. Goku, better friend. Warwana member badge for 1 month. You can't download and or play a showcase. Just like Game Pass isn't a game, people need to stop hyping trailers and showcases so much. So that I also agree with. Um, I was reading a thread between Falky, Will, Josh, and I think it was Proc's original tweet. But basically, you know, Falky made me remember that the Xbox had an amazing show last year also. And so, like, we can't go all by the showcase, but I will say this. Xbox somehow had the best showcase of the year, and they also lost their own showcase. It didn't do a damn thing for them. I would be hard pressed to think if it did a damn thing for anything related to Xbox. Steam, maybe. PlayStation, probably. Here's why it did better and did more for PlayStation than it did for Xbox. Because you already get the PS5 exclusives on a PS5, right? That's how that freaking works. It's a PS5 exclusive. It comes to the PS5. You get PS5 online multiplayer games on PS5 and Steam. So now you get PS5 and you get to play the multiplayer games also on the PS5. But wait, now there's more. Listen, you end up getting Xbox games, PS5 games, and the PS5 multiplayer games that are coming to that are coming out. Also, I kind of did that in a messed up order because also we are getting hand-picked indie PC titles and some not so indie PC titles that are coming to the PS5. So, because of the Xbox showcase, PS5 won above everybody else. It just did. There's no other way to slice it. PS5 show the PS5 showcase. No, they had a state of play. They did not have a showcase. Um, I hope Jez has a show this week. Missed him Monday. Yeah, I didn't hear where. Maybe he's on vacation. Maybe he's put this whole thing down for a week. Maybe he got tired of keeping up with all the receipts for 1 week and he just wants a break. Um, but like Xbox didn't win their own showcase. PlayStation did. Did you see the Amazon dude? Xbox is like non-existent on that store. I know. Yes, I own it. Have not. Oh, what are y'all talking about? Oh, the remake. Uh, so that's all that we were trying to say last week about the showcase because I wanted to get into Phil Spencer and his bullcrap, which is exactly what we are about to do. Uh, so let's do this. And I think last time we had an issue where y'all couldn't hear it. So if that's the case this time, let me know because I want y'all to be able to hear what's going on. And if y'all can't, then it's going to be a slight issue. But we're going to try. Google Phil Spencer, it'll pop up. All right, guys, this is 14 minutes of your life you will never, ever, ever get back. And I am sorry, not sorry for it. So, here we go. Let's go into Theatre mode. And we are going to see
of Xbox because there's a lot of great memories,
if
but
y'all can hear this.
There's a
All right. So, we are about to get into the interview. It was seeing it that we had the issue with. Thanks, Josh. I remember it was one of them. Jez on vacation with Will confirmed. Two of the best ranters on YouTube. Will, Jez. I'm more of a jokester than a ranter. If I feel very, very passionate about it, I can get on one. But definitely, Jez and Will are some of the best ranters. I'm actually exited for that. Looks really good. What the hell are you exited for? Oh, Metroid Prime. Oh, you excited. Oh, my bad. My BAD dog. Did you see the Amazon? Yes, I own it. Have. He was away with family, so he's on his last Helldiver stream. Oh, that's right. That's right. Making his own Grindhouse records. All right, so we are going to get into this interview, and we are going to take the interview the way it should be. We are going to take it in its totality. That means in its entirety. It's def a Switch 2 launch title. Thrifty does jokes. Huh. It's the language barrier, Wara. It's because you speak Australian and I speak American. That's what it is. Now, Sleeve Monkeys, let's go. Lovely intro music. I love the lights.
welcome to IGN Live.
Doesn't this guy kind of look like he could be Pee Wee Herman's son? Doesn't he? Like, I don't show my face because I have one of those faces that you just don't want to see. But, like, could be. Anyways, let's go back. This is from IGN. This is IGN. Yeah, can't spell ignorant without IGN. But we are going to go through this, and I just want, this is Ryan McCaffrey, at DMC_Ryan, if you would like to follow him. And once again, this is transformative content now because I am transforming it. I've paused 9 seconds in, and we're going to keep pausing as we need to. Taking breaks is important for YouTube and for fair use. So let's go.
Earlier today, we got a brand new Xbox game showcase from Phil Spencer and his team featuring a ton of reveals and surprises. There's a lot to talk about. Who better to talk about the present and future of Xbox than the
Ryan
Xbox?
McCaffrey.
I will say, first off, that's really ballsy of Ryan to claim that Xbox has a future. So let's yeah, really, really ballsy.
Himself. They want to hear from you, my friend, not me. Phil Spencer, thank you and welcome to IGN Live.
Thanks, Ryan. Thanks, everybody.
So
Your energy's incredible.
we have 1 hour together
energy's incredible.
on the dot, and we have some friends coming in halfway through, some other awesome Xbox developers. So
People who actually
I-
build games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to waste a second with you here, and I want to start. I said this earlier on this stage. I think you just had the best showcase you've ever had. I really mean. I said it before you got here.
Thank you, Ryan.
It really was fantastic. Now I know you plan these things months and months in advance. For anybody that doesn't
Months in advance.
know, that like the planning for this starts like the beginning of the year kind of thing.
That's
where
right.
It's crazy. So I'm curious, at what point do you, with this one this year, do you get a feeling that, oh, this one's looking pretty good?
Yeah,
Don't be humble. Just tell us the real answer here.
honestly, like, until our fans, the customers, you guys give us the feedback, like, Aaron Greenberg and I were talking about this 2 weeks ago. Now, the thing that probably hit me the most was obviously just the passion of the teams of putting their amazing work on stage and seeing so many teams do great work. But it was I'd say 2 months ago when I just looked at the kind of scale of the franchises, how much work the teams were doing to show up the way they did, and the partners that we had in the show. Like, I was in awe of this show.
There's a couple games I want to ask you about specifically before we'll talk about some other stuff too, but the one that I...
Okay. Let's go back.
That probably hit me the most was obviously just the passion of the teams of putting their amazing work on stage and seeing so many teams do great work. But it was I'd say 2 months ago when I just looked at the kind of scale of the franchises, how much work the teams were doing to show up the way they did, and the partners that we had in the show. Like, I was in awe of this show.
There's a couple games I want to ask you about specifically before we'll talk about...
So far, there is nothing in this interview except for the couple little stupid jabs I made. There is nothing up to this point that I'm going to sit here and say is bad or anything like that. Kudos to the teams that worked on it. Kudos to the teams that got their shit together to put on an amazing showcase. Nothing against them at all. So, this is not a crapping on the showcase thing. Because I don't want to do that.
Some other stuff too,
good.
But the one that I said, right, for me, of all the great stuff from today, stole the show for me was something I wasn't expecting to see today again, which was Perfect Dark.
I knew you were going to say that.
Perfect Dark. A first-person spy espionage.
Hang on. I want to look something up real quick. Real time, baby. Real time. Okay, yep, no release date. All right. It will not be released before the end of 2025. All right, so that's what we're excited about. A game that is coming out in a year and a half at minimum. All right, cool. Okay, continue.
Some parkour, a little Mirror's Edge in there, which I love.
All playable, like all in-game.
Yeah.
Somebody.
And that game's been cooking for a long time. We know that we've followed
the partners at Crystal have been doing amazing work there.
Yeah, Crystal was brought in to help it keep going. So what has it been like for you to kind of follow the very long trajectory of that game from, it started with Daryl Gallagher starting a studio. And
just
now,
down the street.
Yeah, and now we're finally here. Like, so how has it been kind of getting to this point with Perfect Dark?
Yeah.
How has it been? Perfect Dark dev time. 14 months of its nearly 3. Yeah, no, whoa, hang on. No. That's for the first one. It says it's still 2 to 3 years away. Phil expects next consoles to release in 20. Okay. Perfect Dark remake. What is it? What was it announced? 3 years ago? Announced 2018, so 6 years ago? Hang on, Perfect Dark remake announced in 2020. Okay, so that's 4 years. And now they're saying it's going to take another 2 to get it to the people. So that's a 6-year cycle. Guys, I've bashed PlayStation for that. I have said that, hell, I've bashed PlayStation for 4-year dev cycles. Like, if you think that 7 years is good, then you're an idiot. That's not good. And all the turmoil and bullcrap it went through, Ryan McCaffrey, hey, can you explain kind of the process and what's going on with that? Like, dude, shut up. Ask them why in the hell the game has taken forever. What kind of bullcrap have y'all been pulling behind the scenes that has made this crap take so dang long? What kind of inept studios do you have working on this thing to make it take forever? Why? What happened? Oh, man. Send it to me in the Discord, Wara, and I will, because that's funny. Because I know what you're alluding to there with the 2 different showcases. 6 years is fine if you're gonna. Why am I gonna have to know about it? Right. Like, let's go.
You know, in
Let's keep
parallel,
going.
building a studio while you're building a game and something that Perfect Dark back to N64 and obviously us with PDZ on 360, like there's just such anticipation for that game. And I really appreciate everybody's patience because we've been talking about this for a long time. And like my team can verify
years.
this. When I saw
4
it,
years.
I said, this is the one that Ryan's going to love because we know his love for Spy. And I said, this is the one. And just so proud of the team. And it really just came together so well. And, I mean, a cool little story. Daryl had
Me too,
our other
Michael.
studio
I do
heads
too.
down at the studio just yesterday and walked through that same section in-game to show them, like, this is a game being played. And I love seeing our community of creators coming together that way.
Well, another, the one more thing, which we were all hoping for and got, was a new Gears of War game, but it wasn't. It wasn't Gears 6.
It was not.
It was not Gears 6. So, what you have a visibility into everything, but I'm curious, when you're in a meeting with, maybe it's Matt Booty, maybe it's Alan Hartman, but the Coalition folks, like when you learn
Hang on.
that they've gone
Hang
down
on. I should have paused
the
this.
E-Day.
Hang on. Release date. Oh, 2025. Okay, cool. All right. Well, also at the end of the trailer for this, there is no console exclusive either. Just figured I'd let y'all know that.
Road, the
Yeah.
prequel road, rather than Gears. Like, what was your reaction when you found out that was going to be the next direction for Gears of War?
Well, you know this. We've had some changes in leadership at the studio. Rod, who was there, is now leading Diablo for us. So I actually thought a Diablo
Will,
game
man,
I'm
thanks
playing
for
a ton
stopping
of,
in, dude.
I thought it was
Enjoy
a
your
nice
vacation, bud.
opportunity for that team to establish their Gears, right? And going on following on Gears 5, just because the numerical thing, like I think it would this was an opportunity for them to take it back to an origin story that I know you know, that has a lot of like real depth to it in terms of Emergence Day, and tell that story through the Coalition as it is today. I thought,
Okay, so this is one part that I will say I actually respect their direction on that. No release date aside, that's bullshit. Cinematic trailer only, that's kind of sucks. But we have talked about before, when you have a franchise that like has been around a long time and you kind of know the design of it, know the play styles of it, stuff like that, you kind of know like what to expect. So I'm more okay with them showing like a cinematic trailer of that than showing a brand new title or a brand new IP just using cinematic alone. I don't think you should do that with brand new IPs. Honestly, I think it should be, we show you the trailer, it's gameplay with some cinematic CGI work, and the game releases in 6 months if it's a new IP, because you really want to capitalize on that hype that trailer shows or that trailer builds. And I think a lot of times when we see games that are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years out, and we see these cinematic trailers, we get hyped up, and then we're like, oh shit, is that game? What was that game? Was there a game? I think there was a game coming. What? Maybe? And then we like hear it and we're like, oh shit, yeah, that's the game. That actually happened with me and Stellar Blade. I completely disassociated the two from being Project Eve and Stellar Blade, because we heard about Project Eve and I was really excited for it when I saw the trailer. I thought it was awesome. I thought it looked really cool. And then, like, it went kind of silent for a little bit. And then Stellar Blade, and I was like, oh, shit, this looks so cool. And somebody was like, yeah, that's that was Project Eve. And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, well, this was actually happened on the Saltiest Gaming podcast on Salty Stream. And I was like, oh, wow, really? We also found out that the trailer wasn't even using the games. Yes. Yeah, there was that too. But let's get back to this. I do like the fact that they're letting the studio kind of do their own story and not just shoehorning them in to like, nope, you got to make Gear 6. You got to continue this, when they're like, listen, the people who did this aren't even here anymore. Like, so I think that letting them do that is going to lead to an overall better game, or at least an overall better story, or at least it should. There's a lot of or at least there. I've seen these games 3 to 4 times now.
Like, what a great opportunity. I was excited. And then you probably saw, I know you heard it, the Mad World tune in the play piece.
Oh, yeah.
Like, for those of us who remember the 360 commercial, like, how iconic was that? So when they went back and sourced that and brought that through the piece, I think it just showed that they kind of stayed true to what Gears is, but tell a new story, new arc.
Now, you're wearing a very cool Xbox Pride shirt today, but a year ago at the
very
Xbox
cool.
Showcase,
He takes
you
it off at
freaked
the end
out
of
people
June.
like me by wearing a Hexen shirt, which is a game that I have very near and dear to my heart. And now, well, then too, you had just acquired Hexen. You own that
Yes.
as
As
a
a matter of
part of
fact,
many other things.
let's pause that real quick. I'm gonna just give y'all, every show lately we've been giving some tidbit of advice, some life help. So let me help you out. June is LGBTQIA Awareness Month. Companies who put that logo, the flag logo, all of that stuff on their profiles, on their Instagrams, on their socials, on their X accounts and all that. I gotta let y'all know something. Also, why in the heck are we only at 15 viewers? What happened? Did everybody get stuck in the last stream? Anyways, I want you to know, if you are ultra conservative, let that shit go. It'll pass. It's gonna pass in a month. Chill out. Breathe through it. You're not going to stop playing PlayStation games. You're not going to stop driving a Ford. You're not going to stop eating Kraft mayo. All of those companies support LGBTQIA, by the way. You're not going to stop using those. So just chill. Just chill. Breathe. It's okay to breathe. Now, if you're on the other side, and maybe you are part of the LGBTQIA community, for the love of God, know that these companies don't give a flying rat's rear end about you or anything else except making money. That's it. You are nothing more than a target audience during the month of June. Companies pander to you. Do not be taken for an idiot. They don't care, and they never have. Okay, sorry. Back to this. Just wanted to just share that. It bothers me to no end to see people on both sides of this, some celebrating, oh my goodness, thank you for speaking out. And then the other side of it, would y'all please stop that crap? I can't believe companies will do that. I can't. Well, you just lost my business. Would you shut up? No, you didn't. They ain't no way in heck they lost your business. And if they did, you're a moron. Because I want you to anybody who stops shopping somewhere because they support LGBTQIA or any freaking thing that you're against, go find, let me rephrase that, any political hot topic that you're against, I want you to go look up what other companies do that and boycott them too. You will be without a car, you will be without energy drinks, sodas, heck, water, bottled water. Nope, can't have any of that. So listen, just everybody breathe. Some of y'all need to chill out, and some of y'all need to realize you're being played like a fiddle. So anyways, here we go. Sorry. The volume is low. It's pretty high on my end. The volume for what, Conker? Also, welcome, Conker. Huh. I don't hear anything that's low. All sounds fine to me. Interesting. All right, let's go.
But then today, I see the reveal for Doom: The Dark Ages, and I go, well, wait a second.
Coming to PS5.
Hold on. Are you secretly making a Hexen
And it
game
looks sick.
in the Doom universe? Because I know you and I share the love for this.
Yeah. No, I would like to say I'm actually smart enough to predict anything like that. I wasn't. But definitely, if you look at Doom Dark Ages, and thanks to Marty and the team, they let me introduce that. right? So I got to come out and like I was going through all my old school stories for those as old as me who remember it's Doom 1 on a floppy going. My only PC that could run it was my PC at Microsoft. So I would sneak it at night, put it in so I could play. So the opportunity to stand there and get to announce a Doom and then Doom Dark Age.
Hey, Dan, sorry, I'm listening to this so I can interact with it, but I'm also interacting with the chat more tonight than normal because Will's not here, so y'all get to be the co-host. Welcome. He may need some more drinks. So, Steven, that's why Speak with Your Wallet is so true. So, yes on certain things, okay? Because actually the analogy I just gave, it doesn't work when you say speak with your wallet. So here's why. So several years back when like the Girl Scouts did stuff, the Boy Scouts in America did stuff, it was like the whole thing was like they're supporting LGBTQIA, blah, 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 this and that. And I remember a person pretty close to me was like, well, I'm just going to boycott Girl Scout cookies because that's ridiculous. Okay, so then I went on my little diatribe of, let's at least be consistent. And so if you're going to boycott that, I know, hey, your kids love Disney movies and they love Marvel movies, which is owned by Disney, and they love all of those things. Are you going to stop watching those? Are you going to stop buying those? Are you going to stop supporting those? Well, no. Okay, cool. Nabisco, Kraft, Monsanto, all these companies, not Monsanto, oh shoot, maybe it is. Anyways, basically Kraft and Nabisco, which make up a ton of the, uh, yes, the Bud Light boycott worked, but what I am saying is if you're going to go that far with one, go that far with all. Does that make sense? Like, we got to stop picking and choosing what we want, what hills we want to die on in this regard. Now, online only games, if that's your thing and you hate those type of games and you don't ever want to play them, guess what? There are bajillion other developers that do not make their games online only. It'd be different if I said, "Hey, I hate EA because their games are online only," but I say I love Ubisoft even though their games are online only. Like that's inconsistent. And so you need to be consistent. And that was my point to this person who's like I said, really close to me. I was like, "Listen, you're not being consistent." We were driving a Chevy Equinox, I believe at the time, and literally, I remember pointing outside in the direction of where the driveway was, and I was like, if that's the case, stop driving your Ford. Because this person had a Ford. I was like, if that's the case, stop driving your Ford. Because Ford, at the time, was one of the largest supporters of the LGBTQIA community. And like, if you take these boycotts to their logical conclusion, one, it's pretty interesting when you do that because you realize how many of these companies, because of marketing, because of all this other stuff, because of trying to be inclusive to get as much money as they can, once again, not trying to be inclusive because they're good people, but trying to be inclusive because they are trying to get the marketing for it, or the marketing towards that group, we just got to be careful. We got to be consistent. And it falls on the other side too. Don't just buy a product from a company because they say that they align with your goals and values. Because the product might not be good, or you might not want to spend money on it. There was a product a few years back that came out, and it's like a Christian-based company. They made it, ultra conservative company, and I was like, that product just looks dumb. But because they were advertising on these more libertarian style videos that I was watching, I was the target audience. Anyways, let's hop off of that. We've actually lost a few viewers, so let's let's hop off of that now, and let's get back to Gears to see when that release
which
date is.
definitely
We'll wait.
has some Hexen in it. And I just thought Hugo and the team, fantastic work.
Sorry,
I'm so
not
proud.
Gears.
Now,
Doom.
I can't help but bring up something that's been a topic of
And this
conversation
does have a
a lot
release date, and it looks
recently,
really good.
which is
believe it has a
that
release
Doom: The
date.
Dark Ages is also going to ship on PS5, something that you've done
Yeah.
with some other games. So can you, from a business level, like, can you walk me through, you paid $7.5 billion to acquire Bethesda's ZeniMax. So what's the calculus? Like,
$7.5 billion. Oh my God. Is this going to help you sell consoles? Nope, we're putting it on PS5. Is this going to help you, like, do anything? Don't know. Like,
what's the
jeez.
process there for deciding, like, okay, new Doom, let's keep it multi-platform as it has been, or just put it on Xbox. So what's kind of the thought process there?
Well, on Doom, it's definitely one of those franchises that has a history on so many devices.
Yeah.
I think they have like Doom running on a lawnmower somewhere when you go back. But, and it's a franchise that I think everybody deserves to play. I'm really proud of what the team, and to be honest, like I was in a meeting with Marty and the team a couple of years ago, and I asked Marty what he wanted to do. And he said he wanted to ship it on all platforms. I said, let's go do that. Like, it was as simple as that. Now, I want to bring it back, though, because I get a lot of questions about, hey, if I'm an Xbox owner, what does it mean? And what I want to say, and I thought it showed up so well in the show today, you saw an amazing collection of games that are coming to Xbox. They're going into Game Pass day one. And Game Pass showed up so well. If you buy the game on our console, you get to play it on PC. You buy it on PC, so the cross entitlement stuff is all there, and we're focused on future hardware with forward compatibility. Our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on other screens, and you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. And we just see that as a benefit to the franchises that we're building. And we see that from players, and the players love to be able to play.
Well,
okay. And by the way, it baffles me that people were cheering for that statement. Because basically what was said right here.
To play it on PC, you buy it on PC, so the cross entitlement stuff is all there. And we're focused on future hardware with forward compatibility. Our commitment to our Xbox customers is you're going to get the opportunity to buy or subscribe to the game. We're going to support the game on.
So our commitment is you can buy or subscribe to the game. Okay? Outside of the subscription, they're pretty much getting the same damn thing if you have a PlayStation. You can buy the game. Right? You can buy the game. It is the damnedest thing. Holy crap, Steven Leon. With the 10-member bomb. Holy bejesus. Fake Man Bear Pig, that is an awesome name. I want to see that name in the chat more. Brian V, Breezy Style. I bet your style is pretty breezy. And then we got C Fresh. We got Breezy Style and C Fresh. Byron Cutler, you got a gifted. This is the Oprah Winfrey show of gifteds. And Abyss. Hey, Abyss got one. You've been in here several times. Heck yes. All right. So let's continue.
Other screens, and you are going to see more of our games on more platforms.
Okay, you are going to see more of our games on more platforms. Okay, keep going.
And we just see that as a benefit to the franchises.
Okay, boom, right there. We see it as a benefit to the franchises. We don't see it as a benefit to Xbox players. We don't see it as a benefit to anybody else. We see it as a benefit to the franchises. What does he mean by that? A couple shows back, let me tell you what I did. A few shows back, I broke down another interview that he did, and basically the gist of that interview was saying, more games to more places. When more people play, we all win. and he was talking about how it was only 4 games that were going to come, and it's going to be great, and all this other stuff. What's up, Outsider Gaming Night? Uh, and like, so cool. It was only 4 games. Now it's more games are coming. Don't worry, Xbox. We still care about you. You're still you're still our main sweetheart. Consoles are so important. Um, then he had come out and said, hey, in that interview, I believe he had said that they wanted uh, to use something that the other platforms had, and I made the correct assumption that the thing that we have over here at PlayStation and that they have at Nintendo that Xbox doesn't is people who buy your damn games. It's people who buy your games. So, how is it good for the franchises? Because that means when Perfect Dark finally does release, the damn studio might have a chance of not having to close its doors. Maybe. Maybe. Paying customers. Absolutely. A user base that pays. Yes, that is correct, Hero. A user base that pays. But, Hero, you're a genius. We pay for quality. Why do you think the poster child for quality splits and for quality in the PlayStation gaming community, Herman Holst, why do you think he's the co-CEO of the dang company now? Why? It's not because he looks decent in a suit. It's not because he does interviews well, or business style interviews well. No, it's because he knows what we want to play. So, it's going to be great for the franchises. That way, maybe these franchises don't come out and just die. If they have to keep relying on $18 a month and the Xbox community actually buying games, they are going to drown. They already are drowning if I'm just being honest. They suck. Remember the title of the video. Xbox sucks. There's no nice freaking way to say it. There's no good way to say it. They suck. And this right here, hey, if you own an Xbox, guess what? You can rent or buy your games. Good job. But I can do that on a PlayStation and they have all these other games. Yeah, we know. But it's really good for the franchises. Oh. Well, if it's good for the franchises, shut up. Xbox clowns on X and Xbox clowns on YouTube, y'all need to be quiet. There is no realm outside of Microsoft's own pockets that this is good for the Xbox brand. It's just not. Especially with what the hell is forward compatibility? Can I ask? I've heard of backwards compatibility. Forward compatibility sounds like that would be a hardware thing. Like my PC, right? My PC, I spent a little bit extra money buying the one that has the newer style motherboard. So if I want to be able to upgrade it later, it has forward capabilities. I can upgrade it without having to buy a whole new PC or a whole new motherboard. I think it's called a motherboard. I think that's what it was. Or the platform that everything I don't fucking know. The platform that everything slots into. That's why I went with the one I did, was because in 2 to 3 years, when this computer will need to be upgraded, I can just buy a couple parts and throw them in there, I think. And so, that's what that makes me think of. I want to know what in the actual heck forward compatibility means when it comes to gaming and software. Okay, hang on. my producer has the answer. Hang on, guys. Let me read this from him. It's a super secret note. Forward compatibility will be old hardware being able to play newer games. They will use the cloud to do it, but it could mean the S will hold them back forever. Okay, so that actually, thank you. That I can deal with that. The first part of that explanation, not the fact that the S will hold them back forever, because that's probably true, but the first part of that does make sense. If you make a cloud device that can run these games, but doesn't hang on. So you would be playing games natively using the cloud. Okay. So the way PS Plus used to do, I don't know if they still do, but the way PS Now used to do it is those were PS4s and PS3s that they had hooked up as servers in some way, shape, or form, I think. Cloud is not native. Okay, cool. Then what I'm thinking is correct. Okay. Oh, God, I wish Will was here for this. Will, I hope you're enjoying your vacation because you don't get to argue with me right now. He's going to listen to this and come back at me next week. What's up, James? Welcome to the playground, my friend. It's been a hell of a night. Okay, so people have been shitting on the portal, right? Okay. What does the portal do? Hang on. Walk with me through this. I sit down. I'm on a Wi-Fi connection somewhere. Okay? And now that they've done the update, guess what? I can get on anybody's Wi-Fi. It's fantastic. Well, passcode protected, all that shit, but relatively anybody's Wi-Fi. So, I link in to my PS5. I link in to my PS5. And then I can play it on that screen. And I can save everything using my PS5. Almost like a server. So, essentially, they're going to want to turn the Xbox into a glorified PlayStation Portal? Is that... Is that kind of what I'm hearing? Is that somebody in the chat tell me if my understanding of this is messed up? Because listen, I could be wrong. Okay, they're old systems, yes. All right. So basically, you're using it as a link into the device. It's a freaking portal. Which, by the way, is a pointless device. No. Now, I just want to, not saying it's going to fail, not saying it's not going to fail, but I just find it funny that Xbox people are hating on the portal when Phil Spencer wants to turn their new hardware into a portal. If you have an S now, you can stream new games that are not on the platform. They just update the hardware in the cloud. Exactly. So you're using it as as basically a link. You're using it as a portal to whatever new hardware you're linking into. Interesting. Okay. Let's continue. Hey, there's our 22 viewers. How the heck is everybody? Hit all the buttons if you've just come in here. I'm guessing there's another show that might have ended recently. But if you could hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. We have people already gifting memberships. We've had 16 gifted already, and we are halfway through the breakdown of this daggum interview. It's a 28-minute interview. 28 minutes, damn, we ain't getting through all this, are we? Let's go.
We're building, and we see that from players, and the players love to be able to play.
Well,
thank you.
There you go. I have to do the journalistically responsible thing now.
That's a first.
And bring the mood down. Otherwise, the internet would tear me apart. So I wanted to ask you. You haven't really commented publicly much in the last couple months. So I wanted to ask you about the studio closures and Tango GameWorks and some of the thoughts behind the decision making there. I mean, you had a critical darling in Hi-Fi Rush. You had folks like Aaron Greenberg saying it checked all these boxes for us and did all the right things here. So. Walk me through the decision of why, really Tango specifically, not to disrespect the other studios that were closed, but that was the one that really seemed to kind of stick in the community's craw a bit. So I'm hoping here that you can take the opportunity to address that closure and some of the recent changes in Xbox.
Yeah, the closure of any team is hard, obviously, on the individuals there, hard on the team. And I try to spend all of my focus, as you said, I haven't been talking publicly about this, because right now is a time for us to focus on the team and the individuals. It's obviously
the team you fired and the individuals you fired? Okay,
a decision that's very hard on them, and I want to make sure through severance and other things that we're doing the right thing for the individuals on the team. It's not about my PR, it's not about Xbox PR, now. It's about those teams. In the end, I've said over and over, I have to run a sustainable business inside the company and grow, and that means sometimes I have to make hard decisions that frankly are not decisions I love, but decisions that somebody needs to go make. We will continue to go forward. We will continue to invest in what we're trying to go do in Xbox and build the best business that we can, which ensures we can continue to do shows like the one we just did.
Okay. All right, sweetheart, listen. Hang on, let's go right back here.
Did all the right things here. So, walk me through the decision of why, really Tango specifically, not to disrespect the other studios that were closed, but that was the one that really seemed to kind of stick in the community's craw a bit. So I'm hoping here that you can take the opportunity to address that closure and some of the recent changes in Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah, the closure of any team is...
Okay, we didn't ask about any team. We did not... He didn't ask about any team. Okay? So already deflection. This is what pisses me off, is we've had now 2 of the heads of Xbox talk about this shit, and neither one has given an actual dang answer.
Is hard, obviously, on the individuals there, hard on the team. And I try to spend all of my focus, as you said, I haven't been talking publicly about this, because right now is a time for us to focus on the team and the individuals. It's obviously a decision that's very hard on them, and I want to make sure through
Okay, we understand the decision is hard on them. Why in the hell did you make the decision? Why did you close the only studio last year that gave you a Game of the Year contender? That's a very unflattering pause on Phil Spencer. Hang on. There we go. That's better. Like, why? What's up, Emmanuel? How are you? Welcome in. Yeah, I didn't know Proc was doing a show tonight. Yeah, right. Spin. Why in the actual hell can't you just answer a question? One of the most refreshing things about Hermen Hulst doing his first address interview thing was you didn't have to wonder what the hell he meant. Why? Because he just said it. It was great. Hey, single player story driven narratives are, tentpole games. They're not coming to PC day one. Multiplayer games coming to PC day one. Why? Super simple. Done. Right, Josh. Jim was also a very straight talker. Hey, what do you think about Game Pass? I think it's going to destroy them. No. Would you ever try to compete with a Game Pass? No, it cannibalizes sales. Done. This, hey, why did you close this studio? Well, when we close any studio, it's Emmanuel, it's not really an open mic tonight. Mainly because I really want to break down this interview. I will bring you on. We can bring you on next week if you would like. That would be totally fine. Speaking of that, guys, there is a link in the Discord below. Um, but like I really want to get through this thing. Um, but yeah, so Ryan McCaffrey asked him, "Hey, why did y'all close Tango?" Wara wanna okay, give me a sec. Let's get Wara or let's get Emmanuel in here. Let's see how do I do this? Create an invite. I don't have any interaction with Emmanuel. Hey Emmanuel, if you join the Discord, I can get you I can add you. But right now, surprisingly, it doesn't show that we're in any of the same Discords. Huh. It's a great game for people with low standards. What? Props to Ryan for. Come on, man. Props to Ryan? No. No, 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 no. This was a staged interview. They knew these questions were coming. This was not. No. No, 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 no. I'm not going to sit there and say that. Hey, there we go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Invite. Invite. Let's not suck at this. Hang on. Why is it still not freaking pulling up? Ooh, this is dumb. Okay, it's just EM. Why is this hard? Why is this hard? This shouldn't be this hard. Create invite. EM. Hmm. Uh-huh. All right. Hell. Here, let's see if I can do it this way. Copy link. Here, join this way. There you go. I got you. If you can join in, I got you. Outside of that, I don't know what else to do because I'm not smart at this stuff. Here, let's try this. Send friend request. We're in a mutual. Oh, duh. We're in one mutual server. That makes sense. Okay. So, hey, there he is.
Oh, there we go.
Hey. All right. Let me
How are
make
you?
sure I have your mic good in here. What's up, Emmanuel? How are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fantastic. It's been a freaking good show tonight. So, man, what's your take on this dude? The dude spent like 2 minutes talking, and I
Hmm.
know I'm a week and a half behind on this because last week's show I was gonna do it, and we got to talking about games, and we spent 3 hours talking about games. We were that
That was a good
so
show. I listened to it.
I loved that show. It was refreshing. It was nice. But now I'm
Yes.
back on that playground bullshit. So, what what do you think? Like, why can't we just get a straight answer? Is the real answer that bad? Like, was there
Yeah.
somebody having sex out behind like the Wendy's parking lot and like what happened?
Listen. If you've seen me on Podwork, you know that I'm just gonna say the thing that people don't want to say. Okay? Hi-Fi Rush was not a system seller. It didn't make enough money.
But
That's it. I don't know why people are pretending that somehow there was any other answer but that. It didn't make enough money. The team cost money to keep around, and they probably didn't think that they were going to make a system seller next time. So they got
s-
rid of them.
so let
That's
me push back a little bit on that because I would agree with you that it didn't sell systems. Fine.
Mhm.
But when I fully remember when Hi-Fi Rush came out because it was right around the time Forspoken was coming out.
Yeah.
And everybody kept comparing Forspoken and Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush is a better game. It's this and that. Aaron Greenberg, it hit every metric. Ryan McCaffrey used the stupid freaking term. It was a critical darling, whatever the hell that
Hmm.
means. And
Yeah.
everything seemed to be great. Not only that, at Summer Games or at the Game Awards, it was nominated for awards.
Hmm.
Like the only studio, one of the only studios that had a game nominated for award, might have been the only one. And
Hmm.
so, like, we were told it did good.
Yeah.
That's that's where the rub comes in. Because if they would have come out and said, yeah, it just didn't sell well, it didn't do the thing, it didn't do what we wanted it to, fine.
Hmm.
y'all are still a bunch of liars, but at least you gave an answer.
Hmm.
But instead, we get this lip service. Well, it's really hard to close any studio. No shit,
Hmm.
Sherlock. We're really focused on the people, trying to get them the severance, trying to get them the things. Good, you're doing what a company should do when they release people.
Yeah.
Okay, but and then he goes on to talk about, well, we do closures so we can still bring y'all shows like the one we just gave you. Like,
Hmm.
God dang it, I feel like I'm talking to a woman when I listen to him speak and give answers. Like, that's not what
That
and
kind
no
of,
offense to
you're gonna
ladies.
get in trouble. You're gonna get in
No
trouble for
offense to
that one.
ladies, but I swear to goodness, I can ask a question to a dude and go, "Hey man, what'd you think about that beer?" And he's like, "That was pretty good." Cool.
Hmm.
I'm gonna have that. You ask a female, "Hey, what do you think about that beer?" Well, I
Mm.
mean, it's kind of hoppy on the front, has a little bit of a burn on the back. It's really not like my favorite, but it's also not terrible. And, when you drink it, it does kind of fizz up a little bit more in your mouth than other beer. Like, dear God, what do you think of the beer? Is it good? Is it bad? Answer the question.
I
It's
want to say that people said I was going to come in here and cause some trouble. You're creating all the trouble on your own. So
yes.
there you go. There you go. All right. I'm innocent in this conversation. To all the ladies, I do not condone, no condemn
Do not
any of his
support this.
behavior. This is his house. I can't say anything.
Listen, I love my wife, and it is super hilarious when I ask like a yes no question and I get like a
Hmm.
5 minute story that doesn't quite answer it. And it's really
Mm.
funny because I look at her and I go, okay, sweetie, yes or no? I still don't know which way you lean on the issue. And that's what it feels like here is we still don't know. Why did you close it? Why? Why did you shut it down? It was really hard for us to do so. Yes, Phil, we get that. Why? And Ryan doesn't follow it up. We're going to
Mm.
see later on in the interview, after he answers, Ryan doesn't follow it up. As a matter of fact, they're going to cheer after this for the showcase that was linked in to the reason why they had to close these studios.
Yep.
God. Like, and I agree with you. I agree with you, but saying stuff like that, saying the thing didn't do well, it didn't sell well, literally, here's the thing. I think Xbox pays way more attention to its online community on like X and Instagram and things like that than
They
PlayStation
definitely
does.
do. They definitely do.
Because if they did that, it would be a shitstorm on every social media platform, period.
Mm.
They admitted that they
Yo,
lied. it's,
can we be honest here?
I'm
If you
trying to
want
be
to
all
know,
night.
there are two reasons. There are two reasons why this studio got shut down. The first one is the financial reason. Okay, it's no more than that. It doesn't take anything more than that. They made a product that didn't sell. Cool. The second one is because of the Xbox community. And it's always going to be a point that I make every time. Why? Because the Xbox community desired the type of games that were going to go up against Horizon Zero Dawn and the God of Wars and the Spider-Mans,
Uh
and
huh.
those are the games that they wanted. But what were they telling to Phil Spencer? What were they communicating to Xbox? Oh, those little itty bitty games that you guys do. Those are great. Those have so much variety. They have so much diversity.
Hmm.
Oh, they have so much gameplay fun. But they didn't want that. So you set them up for failure. You told Phil Spencer, hey, you know what? Don't be like the blue guys. Don't be giving me this cinematic, narrative driven, 3D graphics and HD and 4K VR. Don't be giving me all of that. Just give me these fun little games. And then when they deliver those games, you don't financially support them. A matter of fact, I bet you most people didn't even play through Game Pass, and the ones that did didn't even complete the game. So you said again, we know that Phil Spencer is impressionable, right? He does listen to the community. You tell him that this is what you want, he gets you more games like that, and you don't support them. Even with the Japanese games, right? They told Phil Spencer, hey, you need more Japanese games. So he went out and got Japanese studio. You didn't support the games. When he puts Japanese games from Square Enix and everything on Game Pass, you don't play those games. So there is an element of responsibility that both the Xbox community and the media that keeps cheering on whatever Xbox does, giving like you said, right? Ryan McCaffrey always say it's a industry darling. What does that mean? It means nothing if it doesn't sell, if it's not being played, you know? It's a bit like a car, right? A car can win a lot of awards for concepts and design and everything, but if in the real world people don't buy it because it's a substandard car, eventually the entire company is going to go down. Like, look at what happened to Fisker just now. So you get what I mean?
Hmm. No, I fully get what you mean, and it's even more evident. And hang on, let me clear up some stuff here in the chat real quick. Are you saying women don't have opinions? No, I am not. I'm saying they cannot answer
You're in
yes or no
trouble for that
questions
one.
very well. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They're just their brains are wired different. And as men, now let me go ahead and do this. This will end at the end of June also. But as men, we really need to be understanding of that and not always get annoyed when they do tell those stories because that's how they communicate best and that's how they feel heard and listened to. So, take that also from a guy who has been married for 13 years. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, yeah, I've been in it.
well done. Well done.
Yeah, it's been hard on her and me, but we keep going. Uh,
Don't worry. I'm sure it's all your fault.
I'm
That's what I always hear.
probably. Okay, so but we saw what you were talking about and how much they listen to the community when you hear Phil Spencer say we want smaller games, smaller scope and scale, these great fun games that people can get into, wanting to bring the fun back into gaming. Absolutely awesome. And then a couple months later, you hear Matt Booty say, hey guys, we really want to build these heavy hitter, AAA, high quality, high budget, marketable IPs. Oh, oh, oh. So which one is it? Well, what happened is they listened to the community, and then the community was like, "Nah, man, we want these big games. We want these massive, beautiful games. Look at everything PlayStation's getting. We want those." And
Hmm.
now they're like, "Well, shit. All right, so we don't need Tango anymore because that's not what they want." They
Exactly.
and so like which I also think does point to what we've talked about on the show many times, which is inept leadership. Like, Herman Holst knows what I want in a game. I know that because he's greenlit several projects that I absolutely love.
Hmm.
And he even has made projects go back to the drawing board and go, yeah, no, y'all aren't doing that. Do something else. Like, that's great. That's amazing. He didn't have to ask the community. He didn't have to release a trailer to see if people would how they would respond to it. He's just like, you know what? I have my finger so on the pulse of gaming and what RPS fans want. No, that's not going to fly. Or, yeah, y'all keep doing that. That's going to be amazing. It's just like when, I think it was when Shuhei went to uh,
Santa Monica.
not Santa Monica, when he went to Shift Up and got to
Right.
play Stellar Blade hands on and was like, this is ours. This
Yeah.
is mine. Like he didn't have to ask us. He knew that we were gonna love it. He's like, no, no, no. This right here is mine. They don't have that.
Yep.
So
That's definitely one thing I'm missing.
let's continue listening to this guy real quick.
And other things that we're doing the right thing for the to do shows like the one we just did.
Okay, there it is.
On
There's the cheering.
on the the
Oh,
Activision Blizzard
crud. Hey, Cosmic Hero with the $9.99. Square Enix and Capcom basically gave Xbox the bird yesterday. Xbox only has America left. What will they do if they lose that one? All the years of lying caught up. Damn. So let's go ahead and take a quick break for a quick commercial break here for the list. Zubitech, fantastic account. If you do not follow him, follow Zubitech. He's amazing. And actually, funny enough, one of my other bookmarks is from Genki. Follow that dude also. Anything you want to know about foreign anything PlayStation related, Genki is your dude. So, here's all the games that are skipping the Xbox, that are multi-platform. All of them. Monster Hunter Stories, Lego Horizon Adventures, I would take that off the list because that's expected. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, Arcade Classics, which, by the way, that looks sick. Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven, Pharmagaia, Kamataiachi no Yoro Time 3, another name I can't read very well, City Concert, Ghost Fleet and Lost Heroes, and Phantom Brave the Lost Hero. So, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games! 8 games coming out. Not games that have already done it, but 8 games that are coming out. Oh, also Fairy Tail 2, Hello Kitty Island Adventure, and somebody asked, what about Xbox? And Zuby says, what's that? Sorry. Some of these comments are really funny. I remember the days when that list was first-party games. Man, how far Oh, shut up. How far Sony has fallen. Sony, these are
They're always in trouble. Sony is always in trouble. Have you
these are
noticed that?
third-party developers that are saying, nope, we're not going over there. And the Xbox community is losing their shit because now they have been told, not only by Phil Spencer, that guys, your games aren't like you're not really that special. We don't care. But now they're being told by other developers outside of the PlayStation and Xbox circles, hey guys, here, listen, it's not us, it's you. You don't buy shit, so we're not giving you anything.
Yep.
So, and then there's always that one Xbox dude who's like, I always buy all of my games. Well, great. Get your buddies to do so. Because you're not cutting it. Your $70 ain't enough. It's just not. And they're not selling consoles. We know that shit. We know they're not selling consoles. Hell, the EU is considering getting rid of the Xbox in stores. Most places already have, and you can only order them online. Like, WTF, people. And then
It's
you
a
have
sad state of events.
So, Emmanuel, here's the thing. A few months back, I would have agreed with you that this is super sad.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have never wanted Xbox to compete more than I do right this very moment.
Yeah.
I want a fire lit under PlayStation's butt so bad. And Nintendo, as great as their show was, as fun as those games look, they are not competition for Sony. They're just not. They don't view them as competition.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you would ask Nintendo, they would be like, yeah, no, we're two totally different things, two totally different markets.
Absolutely.
And as a matter of
Yeah.
fact, most folks who have a PS5 also have a Switch, so we don't care. Like,
Yeah, makes sense.
they're buying our shit anyways. But why do we do that? Why do I have a Switch in my house? It's not just because I have a kid. I mean, do you own a Switch?
Oh no, it's for children.
Okay. Okay, it's for children. Why do other people have Switches, though?
Because I like the games, man. That's the thing.
So the games. Now, you're
Yeah.
not talking about games like The Witcher 3, are you?
No. They like the Breath of the Wilds, the Mario, the Pokemons. You know, they have those games.
They like the exclusives.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Uh-huh. So, Nintendo has only been able to keep themselves alive on a far inferior platform for so long because people love their damn IPs.
That's true.
People absolutely. Mario Kart 8 is still in the top 10 damn near every month in and month out on game
That is
sales.
true, though. Yeah.
Like, are you losing it? Are you breaking it? Like, how can this game keep selling so much every month when it's not a new system. I could understand if the Switch 2 came out and they were like, "Oh, it's backwards compatible. You can play the old one." And folks are like, "Cool. Well, instead of paying this for the new one, I'll just get the old one." Whatever. I could see that. But the hundred and something million Switches are 130 million, I think, 120 million Switches are out there.
A huge amount, yeah, of
Right.
switches are out there. Yeah.
Almost 60 million in game sales for Mario Kart 8.
That is ridiculous. Can we just appreciate how ridiculous that
Like,
is?
actually, you know what? I have the internet at my fingertips, literally in real time. Mario Kart 8 sales history. Blah 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 blah. How much has Mario Kart 8 sold? Here we go. Yeah, oh, damn. I was really close. 61.97 million units. So that
Wow,
people
that is
buy. Go ahead.
crazy.
Go.
That's
Go.
crazy. That is a crazy number. The thing is, obviously I give Switch, a lot of shit for making games that are, just catered to, the younger ones. But
Mhm.
a lot of these cells, first of all, a lot of markets enjoy the portability. A lot of people love the portability factor of the Switch, right?
Absolutely.
So as a handheld, it is, the dominant platform. And as much as I give them shit, like I say, for games that are mostly not for me, they have fantastic games. They absolutely do. When you take a look at Super Smash Brothers, those are games that I also would have played, just a few years ago. Um, when you take a look at, the Mario Kart franchise, who doesn't love that? That those family-friendly games and everything like that. They go so far. What was it, Animal Island or Animal
Animal
Crossing?
Crossing.
Yeah, during COVID, oh my goodness, that thing was everywhere, like Jesus Christ, and it is definitely respectable. And you are right. We've said this time and again, it is the exclusives that matter most, right? Because that is the reason that you're not playing those games on your PlayStation. Because if those games were available on your PlayStation or on your Xbox or on your PC, you will most likely just play them there, unless again you truly value the portability of the Switch. But yeah, no, it is a fantastic platform overall, and it definitely shows the lessons that the industry should follow, which is again all of this is prescribed on exclusives. Every single business in the
Mhm.
world needs to have an exclusive to give themselves a reason for existing and the customers a reason to not only interact the first time, but hopefully come back and make recommendations to their friends, so on and so forth. So yeah, the Xbox strategy has always been flawed, from this lack of exclusivity or this dismissal of the power and the importance of exclusivity perspective.
So you can even look at it outside of the gaming area because you said every
Yeah,
needs to have something that makes them them that you can't get anywhere else. So, like,
absolutely.
and this is not a plug for my wife's business, but my wife makes handmade soaps. Now this is a
Yeah.
plug. There is a link in the description
Hmm.
below. You can order them if you
As they
want.
should.
It's cool. But she makes handmade cold pressed soaps.
Yeah.
Uh, she locally, not I'm sorry, not locally. She uses minimal ingredients. There's 5 different things in here between oils and butters, and she uses scents and fragrances and colorants that aren't going to irritate skin and things like that. She
Yeah.
also sets herself apart by doing like an essential oil based soap that is
Yeah.
nothing fragrant in it at all except for all natural things. That is something that she does. She makes them herself. She puts all of her time into it, all of that. She's not a big,
Yeah.
huge corporation, so stuff like that sets her apart.
Hmm.
But even if you go to a big corporation, if Coca-Cola started tasting like Pepsi or vice versa, one of those companies would die.
Yep.
If Mountain
You're
Dew,
thrifty. Before you go further from your wife's soap, can I just say I'm a photographer, yeah, and I worked with a company that actually did make soap, right? So it's actually I don't know if they made because I didn't go into the science of the soap, but I will tell people this, yeah. There is a great quality difference between well-made soap and poorly made soap. Like once I started working with this company, they gave me a lot of soap to photograph, right? But they don't need the product back. So they were like, you can just keep it, you can use it. And I can tell you that the first time that I used this soap, it was life-changing. So if people, you haven't had good soap before, go and get his wife's soaps because it sounds like she does even more and above and beyond what this company I was working with was doing. So go and get great soap. You will thank yourself for it. Your skin will thank you, and you'll be cleaner as well. That's another thing that people don't realize. Not all
yes,
soaps clean the same.
nope. And it all has to do with like, and she's tried to talk to me about it. I'm not good at remembering all the ingredients, but it has something to do with like lye content versus oil content versus like her soaps are made with coconut oil, shea butter, uh, olive oil, and coconut oil, shea butter, olive oil, lye, and water. Those are the five main ingredients for her soaps. And when I tell y'all, I used to use the other soap that was made by the people who had, the big furry guy on it. Um, Definitely not naming them. They have a hell of a lot more money than I do. Uh, but I used to use theirs religiously. I was on their subscription. I would buy them at my local store. It was great.
Hmm.
I loved them. But the soaps didn't last that long. My
Hmm.
wife's soaps, I shower twice a day, once in the morning and once when I get home from work. They last me 2 weeks. Anyways, forget
No,
about the
no, no, no.
soaps.
No, no. Don't forget about the soaps. That's really important. People need to get their hygiene up.
That's
And you're
true.
right. I used to use soaps that were made by, again, big brand companies with big names and everything. Even more expensive stuff, not just like, what is it? When like a
Not like
supermarket brand
Dial
has like
or
the home brand,
Dove or
exactly.
anything like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
exactly. Like make good, bought good soap, and again, there's difference in quality. So hey, if you want to get good soaps, it sounds like his wife is making good stuff. So since you guys are on the same continent as him, get some good soap for
Yes,
yourself. You'll like it.
that's actually the big part. We haven't figured out international shipping, and dear God, if we went
International ship is probably going to kill the deal. Trust me. By the
right.
time that you, as a small vendor, it kills deals.
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
I've had a few. Yeah,
At that point,
go
just
ahead.
find somebody else local who makes local handmade soaps
Exactly.
and buy it from them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, don't ship this shit to Australia. Um,
Yep.
but so like every company has something that is exclusive. Even Josh in here said if I want a Big Mac, I would go to Burger King. Exactly. Like there's certain things. McDonald's in the States at least is known for their French fries. They have some of the best tasting dang French fries I have ever had in my life. And they're good, and I'm not the only person that says this.
Okay.
That sets them apart. When you want good fries, you go to McDonald's. I don't because their food is poison. But like, well, allegedly, could be, maybe. I forget I'm on YouTube and I'm monetized now. Their food could possibly, sort of, maybe, kind of be, in my opinion, not good for your body because of all the crap they do. Anyways, that's, listen, there's a ton of gamers in here. I know one of y'all smells bad. Like, I just do. Okay? Listen.
Wow, you're gonna attack your chat? Wow, that's
No,
crazy.
I'm not attacking them. I'm giving them reasons to buy soap.
That's true. They should.
Josh Ayers said, at Gaming Grindhouse, Thrifty thinks we stink. Wait, Jez is in here? Jez, when the hell did you get in here? Have you washed your ass at this show? Absolutely. Phil needs to wash his mouth out after this bullshit. Speaking of that, let's keep going.
Saga,
Yep,
that's
there we go.
I'm not going to
that's
get
all
done.
been that probably
You
maybe
called it
put
Saga?
well, I don't know. Did it from covering it and watching it, it felt
Yeah.
like it put like 5 years on my life.
Yeah.
As somebody that covers Xbox, I can't imagine how it was for you. But as that came to a close, and you started integrating them into Activision Blizzard King into Xbox Studios. Has that changed the way that you think about running the business at all? Because the
Okay, that is a yes/no question. Okay, I just want to. After y'all purchase them, now that they're here, has that changed the way you operate? Yes, no. Okay, hang on. Keep going.
organization just got quite a bit larger, like
Yeah.
almost overnight in a sense.
No, I mean, we're still, and I hope we show this today, we're going to be about building great games for people to play, about giving them choice on Xbox to go play. We've got a broader library of games. The thing I'm starting to see, which I really love, is the organic collaboration between our teams that are coming out, and trying to build that community of creators that, I mean, you and I will go back to the time of Xbox where we basically had 4 games: Fable, Forza, Gears, Halo. And we would just literally every 4 years, and I would have to come to E3 and I'd somehow try to make those 4 games seem
That's still all they have.
different every year for the community. And now what we have in gaming is just an amazing collection of teams and
That they bought, not developed.
franchises that are doing great work. So I think, I feel an added responsibility as somebody who loves this industry for the franchises that show up on our stage. But I still think in the end, it's about putting amazing games out. Like, I'm really proud of the work that Ninja Theory did with Hellblade and how Hellblade.
Hang on. Hang on. How many copies is Hellblade? Hang on. I just want to point out something here real quick. The first Hellblade. Okay, here we go. Hang on. This is from May 20th. So we have a little bit of a discrepancy here. Hang on. Let's see what Forbes said. How big does no. Wait, that's an old article. Hellblade 2 better sell 2 million. Did it make up the cost? Senua's Saga pre-order Steelbook edition experience. Okay, so we don't have sales figures on Hellblade 2. Why not? If it did so good. Why don't we have sales figures? I think
You know, I don't
something.
gonna give them
Yeah, but why not?
because they're not high.
But it did great. We're really proud of them.
No, man, it did so good. Trust us. Just trust us. Just
But
trust that it did.
but we're
They will never
proud.
lie to you. They will never lie to you. You know this.
But we they we're proud of them. We want to. Okay, so here's the reason why I know that it didn't sell well. They didn't say a damn thing about the sales. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't appeared on a top 10 sales chart that I've seen. It hadn't appeared on jack shit. Remember when people were trying to say that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth didn't sell well, and then like both editions were in the top 10? Both the
They're still
dual
saying that.
pack and the regular were both in the top
Yeah,
10. One was number 4,
they're
one
still
was
saying
number
that.
8.
They don't need all this factual evidence you keep presenting to know that it
They
didn't
don't
sell
need
well, man.
factual evidence.
They don't need all of this. Like, why are you being such a nerd for with your facts and statistics and everything like that? Like, this
My
is the
bad.
internet, people. We
My
can
bad.
have facts at our fingertips, like you were saying, but we don't care for those. You've got to be a rebel, man. You've got to find your own truth, you know, and just stick to that, you know?
Oh, oh, here we go. No, that's from Reddit. I don't know how true that's gonna be. No, it says Ghost of Tsushima 2 is outselling Hellblade 2 on Steam. Let's go to the article.
Ghost of Tsushima 2. We already got that?
Oh, wait. Ghost of Tsushima, sorry, is outselling Hellblade 2 on Steam. My bad. There's those facts I'm trying to spit out. Uh, okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has, well, it shows 102,528 followers. 24-hour peak was 54,000. Okay.
Mm.
Sinuous Saga, the 24-hour peak, 3,900. Uh-huh. Okay. So let's
Mhm.
say they sold 20,000. Let's quad that, or let's quintuplet that number. There we go. Uh, 25 20,000. That's about what it sold. Let's just throw out an easy number.
Sure.
So, and by the way, for anybody, I've been clipped a few times, but for anybody who wants to clip me, I doubt that's the actual number. I'm using it as just a reference point. Nothing major
They,
here.
they won't care about your little disclaimer. Don't worry.
I know they
They
won't.
usually
They'll
have it
they'll
around.
clip that out anyways.
There you
Um,
go.
so yeah, dude, there's a guy who just he's on X and about once a month he clips me like he has to keep
Mm.
the relationship open and I don't know why. Like I'm like, anyways. So um yeah, you were really proud of him. I am terrified Ninja Theory is about to get closed.
Oh, they should.
Anyways,
They absolutely should. If they're going to be consistent, at least if you're not going to be, I guess, upfront about things, you should at least be consistent with your behavior. If you shut down Tango because it didn't sell well and Hellblade doesn't sell well, then you should at least be consistent. Otherwise, it's like, why are you favoring one developer versus the other?
mm, so
You
let's
know?
continue. Let's hear what he
Place
says.
been the response to that.
Uh-huh.
And we have an amazing internal team now that's focused on us doing a bunch of Unreal games as an example. And then you see things like South of Midnight, which might have been my game of the show. I thought it looked so good. You got Perfect Dark, you have Gears. So like for us, as the organization gets bigger, I think it's just more important that we can take bets together and try to do innovative, creative things. And that will continue to drive us.
All right, well, we've got to take a very quick break, but we've got lots more. Phil Spencer talking all things X. And so on the future looks super promising here. And the
For who, Ryan? Who does it look promising for? That's what
the
that's what I
Xbox
wanna know.
business has changed dramatically.
It has, no doubt.
dramatically.
Yeah.
Just in the past few years, and so when you make a 70 almost $70 billion acquisition, do you start hearing from your bosses more, or are they still staying out of your way and letting you run the business? Because that's not an insignificant amount of money to spend on growing.
It's definitely not an
the business.
insignificant amount of money. No, the support
And now we need it back.
we get from the company, and my boss is the CEO of Microsoft, Satya Nadella. Hey, Satya.
God bless. That right there, that does nothing against Phil for shouting out his boss or whatever, but that just felt cringy to me when he did that. Like, hi Satya, please don't fire me, please. I don't want to be fired. Hi.
We are given a ton of leeway to go and run and grow our business. But I'll say the thing that we challenge ourselves to do is to try to do new things. Like I think if I go back 8 years
Hi-Fi Rush was a new thing.
ago, we said, hey, we're going to go ship all of our games on PC and console, and if you buy one on one, you get it on the other. And I got some like reaction from people of this is the worst decision ever. Like this
It was the worst decision ever.
is going to be the end of Xbox. And we announced Game Pass, and we started doing Game Pass. And I know some people looked at that and said, oh, you're going to teach people that games are free. And you're going to undermine the value in games. And what I can say sitting here today from our decisions on cloud, on Game Pass, on console, like right now, we have more Xbox console users than we've ever had in the history of Xbox. Like
Okay. All right. So, I was going to let him continue talking, but that's a lot of bullshit to wade through. So, let's go back a little bit.
back 8 years ago, we said, hey, we're going to go ship all of our games on PC and console, and if you buy one on one, you get it on the other. And I got some like reaction from people of this is the worst decision ever. Like this is going to be the end of Xbox. And we announced Game Pass, and we started doing Game Pass. And I know some people looked at that and said, oh, you're going to teach people that games are free, and you're going to undermine the value in games. And what I can say sitting
Okay. So, you're going to teach people that games are free and you're going to undermine the value of games. But, so now the statement following, English lesson here, the statement following with that but should in some way relate to the other statement. Okay? It should. That's how it works. That's what the but is there for. It's also to wash. Just wanted to shout out Jez in the chat. He mentioned he made that joke earlier. But no more soap ass ads. We're not going to do that. But he sat here and said that, hey, listen, here's this thing, but. So we should have something related to that. Okay, so let's
sitting here today from our decisions on cloud, on Game Pass, on console. Like right now, we have more Xbox console users than we've ever had in the history of Xbox.
Okay, that doesn't mean you did not teach them to not pay for their games. You absolute incessant moron. You are making word salad. That's all you're doing. That's all he's doing here. He's literally just trying to make things sound good. You know, I know we introduced Game Pass and people said that it was going to make gamers not buy their games and going to teach them that games are just free with a sub-service. But, you know, through all of our decisions, through everything that we've done up to this point, we have more Xbox users than ever before. What the freak does that matter? That has nothing to do with the first part of that. Nothing. Absolutely not. So great. So not only have you been training people not to buy their games, not only have you been training people to sit there and not spend money on your games, making you reach out to your actual competitors to put your games over there, to sell your games, but because what you're telling me is you have more Xbox console users now than you ever have, you're training more gamers to do that. You are literally destroying the gaming ecosystem with a subservice like Game Pass. That's why you have to bring your shit over to us so we can buy your shit because your people don't buy your shit.
Hey, you tell him.
It's freaking insane. Like, and I've seen people defend this interview on the rotting cesspool that is X. I've seen
Can I just say, we just had Josh before say that, you know, he respects Ryan. And this is the reasons why I would not respect Ryan. Because he should have given him pushback and be like, yeah, but wait a second. So did you train your people to, you know, get things on Game Pass or not? Like, because again, like you said, your second statement isn't actually related to the first statement. So were people wrong? Are people buying more games now? Are you still going to go with that narrative? Or are you now going to tell us that, yeah, actually, we are not selling the games, you know, that on Game Pass. It is cannibalizing sales. Like, those are things that we would need to know. But, again...
Yeah, and like Josh just said in the chat, it's a fudged number that can't go down. People who buy Xboxes don't disappear. It can't go down.
Exactly.
That's so true. And listen,
You know,
I have friends of mine who still play their 360 and don't even have a new console. Like, they don't freaking need one. But you know what, Emmanuel, you are right. Maybe he says something worthwhile after this. Let's continue.
And even when I look at things like the impact of Game Pass, because I watch that and I love Game Pass, like how it showed up in the show today, I think was fantastic. But we also want people to be able to buy games. So I go back and I look and I say, okay, over the last 5 years, what's happened to third-party game sales on our platform? We're up double digits every year over the last 5 years on game sales on Xbox consoles. So when I look at it, I will just, you know, doing a $70 billion acquisition will push us to try to do more. It'll push us on cloud. It'll push us to go find customers in new places, continue to think about access to amazing games, enabling...
Hang on. So this is all still in response to the question of how has ABK impacted you? Or has it made an impact? It's making us have to go find customers in different places. Like, if that contradicts... And I'm sorry, that is what continues on his statement. But it is making us find customers in different places because we have taught people on our platform not to buy games. Like, literally, he just says that. We have to find customers on different or in different places. So Xbox is dying because the community doesn't buy games. The community doesn't buy games because they have been told by the people who run the company that you don't have to buy our games, you just have to sub. The community is then upset because the games that would have been exclusive are now going to PlayStation, going to be going to Nintendo, going to Steam, what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But they're upset because the reasoning is that they don't buy games because the company it's the greatest circle jerk in gaming right now. Like, it's literally the picture of Spider-Man, all three of them pointing the finger at each other. Like, well, you did this. Well, yeah, I did this because you told me to do this. Well, now that
Mm-hmm.
you did this, now I have to do this. But you're giving away our exclusives to PlayStation because, yeah, because you don't buy games. But you told me not to. Like, literally, it
Exactly.
sounds like an old Abbott and Costello skit. Sorry for cutting you off. Go ahead, Emmanuel.
No, no, no. I was going to say, like on Podoros podcast, I just said that people will always take the path of least resistance. It's just consumer behavior. If, for example, Netflix is available as a subscription for $10, and I can have this show on Netflix, or I could go out and I could pay for the show on a Blu-ray or a DVD, you know, most people are going to get a streaming service, right? That just makes sense. It's the path of least resistance for the majority of people. There are people like myself that will go like, "Oh, yeah, this show, I want the big, sound and visuals and everything is kind of like the best that it can possibly be. So yeah, maybe for this one, I go and buy the Blu-ray or the DVD. But the majority of people are going to do the path of least resistance.
Hmm.
It's the same thing with the games. And again, once as a platform, you say we stand behind this path of least resistance, then of course you are going to, you know, engender a culture where people decide to pay for your things through this particular means, right? So it's just the same thing. It's a bit like take a look at Apple Pay, right? Apple Pay can work with your smartphone, and you always have your phone on you. So eventually you just get used to tapping your phone or
Hmm.
tapping your Apple Watch or whatever, right?
Damn
And
straight.
then guess what? Eventually, you're going to create a community or a culture where people get used to tapping their watch. So when a person is going to be like, yeah, hey, we come here with a new, bank or whatever, or a new credit card, and people are like, oh, can I sign this up to my Apple Pay or my Apple Watch or whatever? And people are like, yeah, no, it actually doesn't work like that. It doesn't work with that. You're going to see some pushback. People are going to be like, no, everything else works with this. I want to be able to tap my watch to access your service. It's what I'm used to doing. So it's the exact same thing for the Xbox community. That's the one thing that I will blame Microsoft for, but I will not blame Xbox community for, because again, it's a bit like again, if a person builds a train, and that train is the most convenient way of accessing one particular destination, you get used to having that train take you to places. And then when there's another location that is besides the location that train goes to, right? You'll be like, wait, are you accessible via this train? Otherwise, I'm not coming. That's why they say, hey, is this game on Game Pass? Because I am used to accessing my services and my games through this particular means. And there you go. And we told this. All of these things were things that we were telling Phil Spencer and Microsoft and anyone who would listen years and years ago when it was first announced. You are going to breed this culture into your community, and that is going to have repercussions. And that's what we are seeing now.
Yeah, and Wara said something also in the chat that was he is selling more first party games because they own more games, not because
Exactly.
sales went up.
Yeah.
And that's absolutely true. And then Josh in the chat said Phil backed off saying third party games because that's a lie, but his game sales are up. And
And can I
so,
just say one more thing? You inherited a lot of these first party games that they have now
absolutely.
from communities that were used to paying a la carte. So they are not yet used to your new model of accessing it through Game Pass. Like it's a bit like your granddad. Like your granddad, maybe he was used to the landline. So guess what? As long as he can keep using the landline, he's gonna keep using it.
Yep.
But eventually, even he's gonna be like, oh, there's smartphones. Oh, I can call you anywhere I like at any time, no matter what. Okay, eventually he's going to migrate. So what happens in 3 or 4 years when Call of Duty on the Xbox side is mostly accessed through Game Pass? Are you going to be able to say that you have double-digit growth again? Not for
Hmm.
long.
Hmm. So that's actually a really good point because you talk about Blizzard. We're talking about Activision Blizzard. That's the part of the interview. We're still staying on track, sort of. But you talk about these interviews and you talk about the ABK deal, and we know that these games are coming to Game Pass. It was a matter of time. That we all knew that.
Yeah.
And uh, we thought like, hey, there's going to be a huge price increase, which still might happen. We thought that there was going to be all this other stuff, which people have talked about at nauseum for all of this stuff. And the community, every time we say stuff, unless it's favorable, we're lying, we're coping, we're Sony ponies, we're all this, we're
Hmm.
that. And that's just not true. We're logical. We can look at this and this is why I said that the big shift that we saw was when they acquired ABK. Because during that process, they had access to ABK's financials during the buying process. They
Yeah.
saw how much money ABK was generating on PlayStation and was
Hmm.
like, oh, yeah, I wonder if we could get a piece of that. We'll tell you what, if the ABK deal goes through, it'll be much easier. We'll put all the games in Game Pass and we'll use PlayStation to kind of supplement that. We broke it down on the
Yeah.
show the last week how it takes like, or not last week, a couple weeks ago, how it will take like four games being like four subscriptions uh, in Game Pass to equal like one game sale or something like that. We broke down the numbers, and I can't fully remember them because we kind of did it on the fly. But excuse me. But like they saw the numbers and were like, "Oh shit, yeah, we're missing out on a lot. Hey, maybe we could send it over there." Because if they don't do that, what's going to happen is just like what you said. They are going to train people who play these games to get them in the subservice. Now, on one end, you can look at a game like Call of Duty that's a year-round playing game and go, you know what? If they sub to it for 18.99 or 17.99 a month,
Hmm.
we come out and we make out like bandits
Yeah.
because that
Absolutely.
community is going to sub, and not only are they going to sub, but they're already spending exuberant amounts of money on skins and gun colors and muzzle flashes, and I don't know what all the shit you can do in that thing. There's people in the chat who will know, uh,
Yeah.
but I don't. And so like it's it's ridiculous that what's going to happen is people are going to sign up for Game Pass, get it, and then after the fourth month, I think the smart ones that are left over there in the Xbox camp are going to go, wait, I've played this damn game for 4 months straight. I've now given them
Hmm.
$80 for this title. It's the only thing I touch. You know what? I should just buy it. So now they get the
Yeah.
$80 plus the $70. So now they just made 150 on you because you're a dumbass. But the other scenario is nobody really buys it after the first one comes to Game Pass, and then the second one. And then when the second one hits, they're like, nah, we'll just sub to Game Pass and play it whenever. It
Yeah.
also, in our Discord, we've talked a lot about when you don't purchase a game, one, your expectations of it go way down, but
Hmm.
two, you end up with this. I don't really care if I finish it. I don't really care if I beat it. Because you're not tied to it as an investment. You're not tied to it monetarily, even though it's part of the subservice. And yeah, you pay, but cool. If I don't like that, I can just stop it after 20 minutes of play or an hour of play and just go to something different. Like when I buy a game, I actually give it a pretty dang fair shake. Like I played I bought Last of Us Part 2. I played 3 hours, got to the part that everybody knows, and I absolutely hated it, so I went and took it back.
Mm-hmm.
I gave it 3 hours, which was an hour after the scene, because I was like, dang, I just spent money on this. I really want to give it a fair shake. I loved Last of Us Part 1, and it just,
Wait, did you ever finish it?
I finally did. Yeah, my buddies and I, one of my buddies had to play Ghost of Tsushima, and I had to play Last of Us Part 2. And so
Mm-hmm. What did you think of it in the end?
okay. So in the end, by the way, guys, there is a review y'all can go check out on the channel for this because I did beat the game. And so here's what I think. The story was convoluted. The pacing of the story was terrible. The
Okay.
content of the story wasn't necessarily bad, but needed to be reordered to make it more impactful. In other words, I would have taken. Close your ears if you haven't played it yet. Uh, Spoiler warning: 5, 4, 3, 2. Who cares? Okay, so if you take Joel's death, and
Mm-hmm.
let's say the game starts out with a flashback or one of the flashback scenes, the very first one, uh, with Ellie and Joel. And then it goes into the next one. And then after that, you see the flashback with Abby, and they start building up these two characters. They personalize them, right? You get to go to the space station, or not the space station, the planetarium. You get to go to the um, you get to have the conversations with her dad who was the doctor. You get to do all of these things. You build up a relationship between these characters again because the first one was so powerful because of the relationship between Joel and Ellie. And
Mm-hmm.
so you build up these relationships, and then at kind of the halfway point, you introduce what was chapter 2, I think, of the story. Then you come in after everything has happened, after like the big blow up between them, you see everything, and then you take them. Then you kill them. Because by
Mm.
that point, you have now built a relationship. You've humanized Abby before anybody has a chance to have any opinion about her. You
Mm-hmm.
humanize her, and you humanize Ellie and Joel and keep building on that relationship so the betrayal feels so much worse.
I disagree with that, but sure. Okay.
And so that's my thing. That's why I hated it. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like the game is absolutely stunning. The
Mm-hmm.
work that they did on that game, I mentioned it last week when we were talking about other games we were looking forward to. But the work that Naughty Dog did using screen space reflections only is absolutely second to no other studio. It was gorgeous. The gameplay, phenomenal. I loved the melee combat with Abby. She was a freaking powerhouse. It was so fun. But the story and the pacing and everything else of it turned into nothing more than ever. I posted something today on Rhino the Bouncer. I posted something today on one of his tweets, and I basically said that I don't even want to play any other Last of Us game. I don't care. I have no attachment to the characters anymore because all it was a revenge story with no conclusion. I would have loved for at the end of it, Ellie wakes up after their fight and realizes that all of this shit was just a made up dream in her head.
What? What? That would have felt so cheap. I would have been pissed.
I think,
I would have been so pissed. You did not put me through all of those emotions just to tell me it was all fictional.
what?
Mm-mm.
Okay, okay.
Mm-mm. Commit to your story. Either tell the story or don't tell it at all. Don't. I hate it when people make it. For example, even Returnal. Yeah, some people interpret Returnal as, oh, it's all in her head, and I absolutely hate that interpretation of it because it's like I didn't go through all that shit for something that doesn't count. I hate it when
Yeah,
stories do
and
that. That's a
granted,
personal pet peeve of mine because it feels cheap. It feels like you try to do something and it's like, oh yeah, but wait, guys, if you don't like it, don't worry, it wasn't real. Then I'm like, no, why did I play it for?
Jez in the chat even said it was great. The Grindhouse does not endorse this. That's fine. I know that I'm kind of the contrary on this, and
I don't think you're the contrarian. I think that you're just a person that happens to fall on the other side. I think that art,
but not for
especially
the
to this
reason a
age.
lot of people do. Like I don't give a
Yeah, no, no,
rat's
but
rip
that's
about
fine.
the
But
other
I
shit.
think I think that a story like The Last of Us, right? Especially part two, it's either going to grab you and make you love it, or you're absolutely gonna hate it. Either way, you're passionate about it, and that's good to see.
I do
But it's
agree.
okay. You have to, again, like we talk about, these developers have to take risks. The Last of Us Part 2 is a very risky story. It's the format, the formatting of it, like you talked about, oh, I'd rather that these flashback scenes were at the beginning and everything like that, because it felt very disjointed,
It did.
because yeah, when you're going through it, you are in one emotional element, in one emotional moment, and then they go to a flashback scenes, and let's face it, most of the flashback scenes were like happier times. So
Yeah.
you go from like this really tense atmosphere, like that's what you're feeling, and then to put a flashback scene, it's whiplash inducing. It's like, wait, what? But you know what? Again, it's part of that. Is the experience they want to share. It's like a roller coaster. You are supposed to feel whiplash. Like the fact that the G forces are swinging you one way and the other. It's not meant to be a smooth experience for you to like progress through the way that you're used for a narrative to be told. No, it's meant to be jarring. Like that is part of it. And you know what? You're okay. It's okay to hate it. Some people hate certain rides at the roller coaster, right? But you wouldn't, I guess, dismantle the whole thing and be like, oh, it should just be a straight track all the way through, because there are other people that love those forces pulling them one way then the other. I have never played The Last of Us Part 2 again because it is emotionally grueling for me. It is a lot and I can't put it down. So it's like I happen to love the experience, but I also respect those that are like, yeah, nah, that wasn't for me. But either way, I'm glad that it was the way that it was because, like I said, you're not going to please everyone with that kind of a story.
And what's funny is in my review, I think I still gave it an 8 because of the other things that I bragged on about the game. I
Hmm.
think it it wasn't, like I said earlier, it wasn't even the story. It was just the way it was delivered. The
Hmm.
story wasn't bad, and
Yeah.
I would have absolutely loved to have that turmoil that everybody talked about, where it was like, oh, are you on Abby's side or are you... Oh, that's what Rhino the Bouncer asked. Like he goes, okay, so being far removed from this, would you be on Joel's side or are you on Abby's side? And I said, I'm on the side that I'm never playing another Last of Us game. Like, and the reason for that was I didn't ever have this inner struggle while playing the game. Like, do I not like Abby or do I not like I didn't ever have that. I had honestly after they killed Joel, I had no connection to any of the characters. All I wanted to do by the end of it, I actually in the final fight with Abby, I actually well, the final fight that you fully control, I actually let Abby kill me repeatedly because I was hoping that like that could be an end to the game. Like I did not care. I wanted both of them dead. It didn't matter to
My
me.
goodness.
Holy crap!
Yo, I was about to go to sleep and then I heard the slander going on here. What's going on?
Hey,
What's going on,
listen,
guys? Were you
I'll be
listening to
letting him
Phil?
go off. It's my first time. He's not going to invite me
No,
back if I push back.
The Last of Us.
No
Oh my
pushback.
goodness. Yo, what's
We've
up,
had
man?
these.
How you doing, man?
So what's really fucked up
I
is what
came back from relaxing vacation. And I come in here.
Mhm.
I'm here. And this Last of Us, man.
so
I knew Thrifty didn't like it, but my goodness, I had to just come on and say a piece about Last of Us because I don't know, man. I understand what you're saying about like the story was disjointed, but the thing is that it was done. I think it was done in such an awesome way because it would have been so easy just to say, "Hey, Ellie's here. Joel gets bashed in the head, and now here we go, game time. Just Ellie vengeance story. Go kill her and end the story. And now we got our revenge, or like have mercy at the end." But the difference was that it started that way. And then when Ellie's just on this rampage, the thing is that you get it from the other perspective, and you see that people that weren't even involved are getting just killed because she is just ruthless aggression, just trying to destroy everything, killing everything but Abby. She's killing everybody else, and it's affecting Abby. And the thing is that by the end of the game, both of them have lost everything because of their vengeance, that they got nothing left to fight for. And that's the whole point of it. The point is that their hate for each other, just the vengeance on each of them. Abby's vengeance on Ellie destroyed everything that Ellie had. Ellie then did the same thing to Abby and destroyed everything that Abby had. And meanwhile, they're both standing and they killed everybody that they loved, everybody that mattered to them, everybody that they were involved with, everybody in this post-apocalyptic piece of shit world. The people that they had relationships with or ties to are all dead because both of them had a vengeance and they had one purpose. So just, I wanted to kill you, I wanted to kill Joel, and I wanted to kill you for killing Joel. And on my path, I'm going to kill everybody that you love, whether purposefully or just because of the nature of everything. And at the end, there's nothing left. And when she sees her just hanging there and she end it, she gets those flashbacks to realize, you know, how she forgave Joel and all that stuff, and realize that this is never going to stop. If I keep wanting to kill her, I'm going to just lose everything, and I'm going to be in this world by myself with nothing. And what happened was that she said, I'm going to change the story and I'm going to forgive you and go back to whatever's left that I have. And that's when she goes back.
Jez, I want to say that for me, it's a different interpretation for me than what you have.
That was my interpretation of it. That's why I loved it.
Here's my thing, yeah? Ellie was losing herself because Abby had her revenge. She did kill Joel. And her revenge didn't get anyone else killed. In fact, she left Ellie alive. Like, the thing is, people don't understand how much Abby mirrors Joel himself. If Joel's, like, the person that killed his daughter, that soldier that pulled the trigger, if he hadn't been killed by Tommy, then this game would have played out pretty much exactly the same way, just with Joel killing that particular man. Like, that would have been what would have happened. But by the end, Abby has found herself again. She has new purpose in protecting the little boy. I forget the name of who she's protecting. But they basically become Joel and Ellie again. But in the meantime, Ellie is losing everything around her. She's not only losing herself, she literally tortured this black girl while she was already infected. It was a scene so grueling they don't even show it to us. That's the one thing where they were like, yeah, we're not going to show you what Ellie needed to do to convince this black chick to give up her friends' locations. You know, she got a pregnant woman killed. You know,
yes, I remember that whole shit.
She did horrible things in order to fulfill this revenge, and she was the only one. She was the villain by the end of the story. So this twist at the end. Oh, one more thing that I really love, one beautiful poetry that I really, really appreciated, is that it was through the revenge. Okay, the fact that Ellie didn't let things go, that Abby actually was able to be rescued. That was one little thing that people never point out, that if Ellie had accepted things as they were, because people always say she should have accepted things when she got the baby, she's got her
walked away,
yeah, she should have walked away. But I'm like, if she did, Abby would have been condemned to like eternal torture and then death. Like if she hadn't gone after her.
Yeah, because she goes back for her. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, she goes back for her when she finds out she got captured.
In the fact that she went for revenge, but she actually ended up being the one to save Abby. I think people really like do not go on that fact of how their fates were always tied together. And it was only through these multiple interactions that they could see themselves in a new way. Like they will never be the same again, right? There's a significance to the fact that she loses a finger and she can't play the guitar anymore. But they find themselves, you know, through that particular story. So their fates are tied. They were both the daughters, you know, of like their own father figures. and none of them is the villain, and they needed one another in the end in order to be able
And
to
that's
get their own
the point,
salvation.
I think, was that there was no hero or villain. Like there was always this gray
Exactly.
area where there's no definition. Who do you like? Abby, you're not supposed to like either one of them. Like
Yeah,
it's
you're
almost
not
that
just supposed to
Walking
like.
Dead
You're not
type
supposed to
thing.
prefer either one of them over the other.
I didn't.
They
Yeah, you're not
really
supposed
come from
to.
like the same place, and it is for love that they did all of those horrible things. It is a love that is twisted, that they did all
Yeah.
of those horrible things. So this is just, and again, like I understand Twitch's point about like, yeah, you could have solved the story differently, but I'm like, dude, again, the jarring parts, those were meant to be your experience. They didn't just like randomly decide, hey, you know what, we're gonna put a flashback over here, or that'll
Yeah.
surprise them.
Boss
Like,
fight.
no, you are meant to go to, and for me, I like that moment of like this pure hatred for Abby, because again, the way they set up Abby, oh, that's some nasty work, man.
Yeah,
So
because
you
you know
help
nothing
her as
about her.
Joel.
You're just like, who
Yeah,
this? Yeah.
exactly. She's a stranger, and then you help her as Joel, and you save her from the runners and the clickers, and then she kills you, and you have no idea why, and
Like,
it seems
what
so
the hell?
senseless
Yeah.
and violent. And then you see Ellie cry, and Ellie is your girl at that point. You're like, girl,
Yeah.
don't worry, we're gonna get her. And
And,
so you feel that hate. Like
yeah,
I
and
felt it,
you
man.
know
I felt
the
it
other
when I was
thing.
killing her friends. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, you
No,
are an
until you
obstacle between me and my goal. You are nothing more than an inconvenience. I will murder
kill them
you. I don't
all.
give a fuck if you're
Exactly.
pregnant. I don't care if you're a dog. I don't care if you're a puppy.
She
I will murder you just to get
she
to
was
this girl. I
killing them
don't give a
all.
fuck. And then
Yeah.
as I'm playing, especially to Abby's half of the story, I'm like, oh fuck. She's kind of
I
right
know
there.
it gives
Shit.
yeah, it adds perspective to what you
Yeah.
just did. You're like, oh damn, I just killed
And then
and
by the
like those
end, you
people.
know what? I don't want them to fight each other anymore. I'm like, I
And
get it
some of
from
them
both
were
of your
even telling
viewpoints.
Abby to give it up. Like some of them were like, Abby,
Yo,
I know you like just move on. Like stop looking
and
for
then
him.
and then you look
And
at the
they're the ones
fact
that
that
got killed.
Abby could have killed Ellie twice, and she let her go, and you're like, yeah, she's kind of the hero of the story, though. You're like,
Because
fuck.
she didn't care about Ellie and she didn't know. And I think also too is that she didn't know what Ellie meant to Joel before she killed Joel. You know what I mean? And then
Exactly,
she must have
exactly.
real because she probably
That's
would
another
have
thing.
got.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, if they had known each other, I don't think she would have killed Joel. Like, I think that, a lot of people are like, oh, Abby should have been part of the community, in
But they were
Johnson or
telling her
whatever,
not to
you know?
kill. Like they were telling her to move on.
Exactly. And I'm
Like
like,
there were
listen,
people
if
that
Abby had
died
been
that
part,
told Abby, leave it
yeah,
alone. Like stop looking for him. You're gonna get yourself like
exactly,
it's not worth it. Move on. You have a
exactly.
life here. Don't do it. And they got killed. The other thing too is that I feel that she you know oh my headset's beeping. But yeah, like I feel that Ellie like her thing. I think the problem was is that the end of the first game, everybody wanted to just get the closure of Joel telling Ellie that there was a cure, but he saved her. Like the Fireflies, because he that lie, how it ended the first game,
Hmm.
and they waited so long for that payoff. It was a flashback near the end of the game
Mm-hmm.
of when they kind of did that. Everybody was hoping that that's what it starts with and how she treats Joel moving on. But the thing is
Yeah,
that they passed that way in the like they were well past that. She was just mad at him. They got over
exactly.
it, and but they showed a flashback that they went back to Boston, and this was taken. They addressed this thing a long time ago,
Yeah.
and you wait so long in the game to get that kind of closure because the end started in such like, oh shit, the next game's gonna be crazy when she finds out, and they just went completely off track and started a whole new storyline, and you didn't get that payoff until later in the game in a flashback, and I was like,
And you know
oh,
what? I like
I
that
think that's
because
kind
it's
of.
like,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, but I
no, I
think
was
that's
gonna
what
say
ticked
like,
off some people because people were thinking that was the major plot in the second story and wasn't this like Abby thing and all this other stuff. And that's why when Joel got killed, everybody's like, but wait, wasn't she supposed to find out that he lied and he died in the beginning? But you don't realize that, they kind of allude to it, but you don't realize that they had that conversation already until later. So
yeah.
like him dying in the beginning was like, I'm not going to get the payoff of the first game because the whole
And
first game ended on a
and
lie.
just you know what people expected? People expected a kind of come to heart moment where Joe was going to reveal, oh yeah, this is
Yes,
what I did, and then Eddie
exactly.
was gonna be like, I understand, I get it, thank you for saving me, and it's like,
Well, she was
no,
pissed
it's
at him.
like,
Yeah.
exactly. For her, it's like, no, you took away something really precious, and also you killed Marlene. Like, again, I'm
Kill
like,
Marlene, yeah, and
yeah,
you lied to me that
you
there
killed
was
a
no
lot of
cure.
people that I didn't want dead, and you did a horrific thing, and she has to live with that. She has to be like, wait, you murdered an entire hospital, both of people that were
It's
trying to save the world for me. Like, that's not an
and I
easy
might
thing
have been
to
a
hear.
cure. I might
You
have
know,
been a cure, and we
there
won't be
you
living
go.
like
Like
this
millions of people are dying every single day
because she
because
wanted to give
you were too
herself for
selfish
a
to
cure.
give me the choice. Like,
Yes, because
that
she
was the
made
thing.
that choice. Because you remember back in the hospital, they tell her like,
Yeah,
"Hey, you will die to like for this like she will die," and he's like, "What?" And she wanted the choice of like, "No, I want to save people." Like she made that choice. He took it from her, and it was
exactly.
such a powerful ending that
Yo,
they didn't
All
start
right.
there. And I think,
So
and then he
people
died.
in the chat are asking that we move on from The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh
So
shit! Really?
yeah,
Oh man, they
uh,
want more Phil Ness.
at Hero
oh yeah, the
said,
one more Phil Spencer.
let's move on from my favorite game and talk about a more universally accepted topic. So let's get back to this.
creators to do great work.
Sorry,
But I actually think
That's
for the
fine.
team, that's
it's
just
such
a
a great game though. I
self-motivation that
loved
the
it.
team has,
Sorry, Thrifty, you
and
didn't
it's
like
fun
it,
to
but
be a
hey,
part of.
it is what it
Black
is.
Ops
Not
6
everybody
day
loves it.
one Game Pass.
Black
That's
Ops
pretty
6
clean,
day.
right? Like, I
Some
would
people
imagine,
said I wouldn't do that.
yeah, most people in this room have probably been used to spending 60, 70 bucks on it every year. Now, if they're already subscribing to Game Pass,
And
good to go.
But it's a choice. Like if
Oh,
we didn't say
oh.
to anybody, you have to subscribe
Right.
to play. If you want to buy Black Ops, it's great. It's great for us. It's great for the developer. If you want to subscribe, it's also great. Like I want to give you.
Okay. Okay. So this is probably where we're going to end it. I will have to pick this up next week. But this is probably where we're going to end it. Listen to what he says here. He's literally like, so Ryan McCaffrey is sitting there talking about how, like, look, man, people have been used to spending 60, 70 bucks on this game. Now they're going to get it in Game Pass. And Phil's like, please wait. Hang on. Hang on. Let's not forget that they can buy the game. They're allowed to purchase
It'll
games.
push us on cloud. It'll push us to
Uh-huh.
go find customers in new places.
Every year. Now, if they're already subscribing to Game Pass,
And
good to go.
But it's a choice.
Okay, so right there with his whole body language and everything, he's like, but no, it's a choice. You can purchase it, or you could purchase it. You could. Like, he's literally trying to pull people out of that mindset very, very gently with that. Like,
Sorry
very
guys, something
gently.
came up. I've gotta go.
Okay,
No, nice
Emmanuel, hey,
talking to you
thanks for
guys.
dropping by, dude.
Hey, see ya.
Pleasure
Hey,
talking to
thank
you,
you for
man.
having me, guys. Always good.
I get you on
always
the
good.
gaming grindhouse. You gotta come on.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you. All right, see you guys.
Yeah, man.
See ya, man.
Follow Emmanuel on X. I will have it linked in the description. I'll probably do that tomorrow. But listen, he literally has to sit there.
Like if we didn't say to anybody, you have to
Yep.
subscribe to play.
Uh-huh.
If you want to buy Black Ops, it's great. It's great for us. It's great for the developer. If you want to.
That is a totally different tone than what it's been up to this point. That is a completely 180. It used to be, look what you can play on Game Pass. Look what you can play on Game Pass. Look what you can play.
Mhm.
Now it's like, but wait, I mean, you could buy the game. If you do that, it's great for us. It's great for, no, he said it's great for the developers, and it's great for us. And when he says
Great
it's
for
great
us,
for us,
yeah.
his eyes get real freaking big. Like, he needs these numbers. Like, Mom,
Uh-huh.
Dad, please, please. It's like when my kids beg me for something. Like, Dad, please get me this. Their eyes get real
Yeah.
big. Their hands come
And
out
then he
in
goes
front.
like, he's like, oh, you can buy it on Game Pass. Oh, you can play it on Game Pass. Like
Yeah.
Game Pass is the alternative, but he's like buying helps us, helps the developer, and then he's like, oh, you could get it on Game Pass. Like
Or
it was
or-
like an after.
Subscribe. It's
Oh,
also
it
great.
totally
Like, I wanna
changed.
give
Like it
you
totally
the
changed. Like
choice on
that
how
was
you
the part
play
I
your
was trying.
games.
I was got on my show. I was trying to find. I get that part again because you're right. He totally like it's totally different now. Like buying,
Such a
selling
tone
games. Oh, it's so because what Ryan said, he could if he was trying to get subscribers in Game Pass, he'd be like, "That's exactly right, Ryan."
yeah.
You know, yeah, you just basically did a great sales pitch for us. Great job, Ryan. Like that's exactly what we want. We want people to play it in Game Pass. Like
Well, and
that's
it's-
what he would have said, like circa Phil 2 years ago, 3 years
and
ago.
when you heard Phil talk about even recently Diablo 4 going into Game Pass and Season of Loot coming up, he's actually made mention of like, yeah, and now if you want to jump in, you can get it and you can get it on Game Pass. That wasn't
But the
too
DLC is
long
not
ago.
in Game Pass. I think that
No,
Diablo,
but
you got to
the
buy
base
that
game.
DLC.
But the
The base
game
game is, yeah, but
in
the
Game
DLC is not
Pass.
in Game Pass. Yeah.
No. But like he's sitting there telling folks like, yeah, you can get it on Game Pass now. You can the Diablo 4, not the expansion, but when it
Hmm.
went into Game Pass, it literally was being pushed as subscribe to Game Pass so you can play Diablo now. And
Hmm.
like get it on Game Pass and get ready for Season of Loot Reborn. Like now it's, hey, you can buy the game. We're not forcing anybody to sign up on Game Pass. You don't have to be a Game Pass customer.
Yeah, because he had to correct him. He's like, no, Ryan, it's about choice. It's about
Yeah.
choice. And like what Em was saying earlier, gamers are going to do the least path of resistance. Like, you're making the choice easy for the people that are uncertain about the game. They're going to go the least path of resistance. They're not going to drop the $70. They're going to get it in Game Pass. So like, I don't, and the people that buy it, you don't want them to convert to Game Pass. It doesn't sound like that. It doesn't sound like you want them to get it through Game Pass. You want them to still buy it. You still want those sales. It's a
Yep.
risk. This whole thing, it's a friggin' risk. And I'm gonna do on the topic I'm gonna do is like the whole point of like how this year has been the year of like we need people to buy our games because you see that Game Pass has created this market of just getting a Game Pass, and they set this. They've done it to themselves.
They really have, and that's what frustrated me earlier so much about the when he was asked this question initially, and he was he like made the link between after we acquired them, we did all this, we saw that, and then he said the but, and then he talked about Xbox having the most users ever, and I'm like, that has nothing at all to freaking do with game. Oh, it was the Game Pass comment. He said Game Pass. People said when we started Game Pass that it was going to train people not to buy games and not to just rent their
Yeah,
games. And he goes,
Uh-huh.
but we have the most Xbox users
Yeah,
ever.
he completely had a
What
brain
the
fart.
What the fuck does that have to do
Yeah,
with
yeah, I
anything?
remember when I was doing this video, he like stopped. He's like, and he's like, they told me that nobody like it would devalue a games, and then he just like stopped. It's like Phil. So what's the and we prove them wrong, right, Phil? No, he
Yeah.
doesn't say anything.
No.
He just says we have the most people on console ever, and it's like, didn't you have a call on February saying a console's stagnant? The console's not growing. That's why you need what Sony and Nintendo have and selling games there because the console market is to run a business now, and he never used to talk about the business. He would just say, only when he was asked, "Is the business a profitable?" It's a profitable business. Like he was asked in 2019 in that crazy interview where he's like he lied about it being profitable, and he's like, "Well,
Yeah.
it's more of a growing business that's growing." Like, and he never spoke about having to run a business. This year, since we heard the Tim Stewart one and Satya in January, this year has been all about he has to sustain a business. Never spoke about the business ever. People asked him, "Hey Phil," even the one where he's on the beach in with the whatever it is, the Times or whatever the hell it was. He was on the beach, and they're like, "Phil, how's this Game Pass profitable? Like how's it work financially? You're just putting these games in there for like this cheap price," and like he's like, it's okay, it's growing. Like he never said I have to run a business. People asked him about the business, but he never answered it. And now this year he's running his mouth going, I got to sustain the Xbox business. I got to run the Xbox business. It's about running the business to give you these shows. I had to fire people for the business. And all of a sudden the word business is coming out of his mouth because he's been coached to say, Phil, we need money. You spent money, we need money. And this is the Phil we need money tour. And you know what else is interesting is like the last year or so, their push for Game Pass since Satya took the growth out of his metric as bonus. The push for Game Pass even last year was very small. Even Starfield, like they really didn't push it Game Pass. Think about how they pushed Gears 5 in Game Pass. If that marketing, Gears 5 in Game Pass, and Starfield was sort of like it's in Game Pass, but they kind of they just said no console required.
Yeah,
But they really
Starfield was not for console players. They advertised first on the TV, second to the PC, third to the
yeah
PC, and then finally Xbox got a little bit of marketing for it with the condom that goes on the outside of the Xbox. Like
Yep, the
that
one and
was
only condom
it.
it's layered with Gameicide.
It's a game aside.
It's
If you
Gameicide.
play
It's a
this, you will-
Gameicide. It's a Gameicide condom. It says
prevents all
it stops great
enjoyment of
games.
video
For-
games.
It does. It kills all the game enjoyment. Goddamn, Xbox Starfield condom with Gameicide. Oh shit.
It makes sure that you will
God.
forget this game in the next 3.5
Yeah.
minutes.
That's right. It kills great games.
Oh, that's
Don't wrap it around your
hilarious.
console. It overheats it too.
That's funny. Okay, let's keep going. I want to try to
And who
finish
you
this.
play with, and not try to.
But yeah, it is a
Look at
total
this, look
shift.
at this guy. Okay, hang on. Y'all can't see it. Hang on. I'm not going to do that to y'all again. Okay, look at this dude here in the front right here. A big old dude, bald head. Look at him.
I don't know if you're sharing your screen. Am I missing
I am.
it? Hold on.
No, it's there.
Oh,
It's on a delay.
Alright.
I
Oh,
missed
okay.
it for a half a second. This dude right here looks like he is not happy to be here. Where's my pointer? Why is it not coming through? Oh well. But yeah, it looks like dude here in the front, big ball guys, like please.
oh,
stop
there's
talking.
some
Force
whack
you
ass
to do
people in
what
that
I
crowd.
want
I
you
show
to
you the
do.
guy who
Give
has
the
his
players choice
his
and
soul
what they wanna
sucked
do
from
and
his
who they play
body.
with.
So the
With his
the
controller in
Activision
hand.
Blizzard
Yeah, there was
thing,
some there
you know,
there
we
was some
watched it
plants
play
in that
out,
crowd.
In courtrooms and regulatory
With
places.
my
Some of those people
Yeah,
there were
like-
definitely
I'm curious, what was the biggest
yeah,
Okay,
a
so-
little whack. But yeah, the whole
challenge for
tone has
you
changed,
and
and
the team?
and you know what's interesting is that they could have changed this in Call of Duty. Like this could have been kind of like they could have kind of changed their positioning with Game Pass and buying your games, and that's why I couldn't believe when they announced Call of Duty in Game Pass. I'm like, oh, yo, they're tripling, quadrupling down. It's like, dude, go home. You lost all your money. You put all the money in the casinos. You're done. And it's like, no, man. I think I got some money left. I'm going to start hitting out the kids' funds now and start betting on roulette tables. And it's like, no, man, just go home. Phil's like, no, we're betting it all.
We're betting it all. So let's hear the next.
Put it all on
question real
black.
quick.
Let's go. I'm reading the whole my whole my mortgage. Put the house on black. Let's go. It's like, Phil, you could get out now. You could say Call of Duty's not in Game Pass. Stop buying your games, bitches. Game Pass is an option. That's a choice. Call of Duty's there. No. I'm cashing out. I'm cashing in again. No, go home.
So I'm gonna continue the interview real quick.
Double or nothing.
I'm gonna go ahead
Activision
and
Blizzard thing.
hear
You know,
his
we
next
watched
question.
it play out in courtrooms and regulatory
With my
places.
tie on.
Yeah, like I'm curious, what was the biggest unexpected challenge for you?
Oh, now
and
I
the
see that
team
guy.
at Xbox during the course of that.
You know, for the management team, like Sarah Bond, Lori Wright, Linda Norman, who's our lead lawyer at Xbox, like we all had our same job of running Xbox and doing the things that we needed to go do, Matt Booty. But then we actually added like this second job.
Phil
at the
wore a
time
tie. What a
of
goof.
having to work through regulatory. And I didn't it's my fault as the head of the business. I didn't really internalize that in the beginning of what a drain that would be on the team. And I think we saw that. I think we saw it in our execution on a couple things that we were doing multiple things at a time that we hadn't planned for. And I'll say it's really nice to be post the acquisition, working with those amazing teams. I mean, how they showed up in our show today, fantastic, right? I just thought it was great. I mean, we had World of Warcraft in an Xbox show. Like, it's just crazy.
Was there ever a point in the process, because it really, between the CMA and the FTC and all these places, was there ever a point where you thought, oh, this might not happen, like this might get rejected?
Well, we always have to plan for all contingencies.
Yeah.
Like, we consider everything. Like, you have to in running the business. But we felt like we were on the side of right. Like, meaning we weren't doing this so we could pull Call of Duty from PlayStation players. It was never in our plan. I mean, I think my whole inbox leaked on the internet. So if anybody wanted to find that was the plan, you would find it somewhere. And it wasn't there. So we believed we were in the right on getting this deal done. So we stayed convicted, but there were dark days, like when the CMA came out and said, no, this isn't going to go through. And, the drag on the teams at Activision, Blizzard, and King, like they're dealing with this uncertainty. So it's so nice to have it passed behind us, and now we can just focus on building great games together.
Okay, so I let that play for a while for two reasons. One, I don't have a lot of shit to say on that whole ABK merger. Y'all can go watch every goddamn podcast I've been in if you want my opinion on that. But One thing I will say is they did two things good for Blizzard. They got rid of Bobby Kotick, and they fixed Diablo. Those are the two things that they have done good for Blizzard. Also, they have made it to where other consoles and other players everywhere will still be enjoying those games. Not going to take that away from them. I'm not actually going to sit here and bash Phil at any point during this part of the interview. I think the stuff that they have done with Diablo 4, I think that stuff is a direct result of what happened post-acquisition. Because Blizzard didn't give a rat's ass about Diablo 4. They let it come out and they let it have the issues that it did, where folks were complaining about the loot, they were complaining about the experience, the way you had to level up, they were complaining about a lot of stuff, and they complained about it in Season 1, in Season 2. Season 2 was when the acquisition was done. Season 3 was not much better, and then now we're on, I'm sorry, are we on Season 4? I can't remember.
But
But
they canceled BlizzCon and they
yes,
got rid of Ybarra
I'm not saying that
and
they've done
and gutted the
everything well,
place.
but I
And
am
gutted the place.
saying,
Failed Overwatch 2.
yeah, well, okay, Overwatch 2 was Blizzard. That was
And
not
anyway, I think Blizzard first off with Diablo, they had to listen to the feedback. They put that shit out there, and then the feedback was like, "This shit sucks," and they had to fix it. But throughout the whole acquisition thing, like a lot of their shit was probably uncertain, like what's going to happen to them. And then they
right.
kind of fix it. I don't know how much Xbox fixed it because they sound like they were kind of on autopilot. The only thing they did was lay off a whole bunch of people and cancel BlizzCon.
So I am just looking at timeline from acquisition to Season of Loot Reborn. And the reason why I say that is because I
You don't
started
think this would have happened without Xbox though?
not with Blizzard at the helm. Like,
They still are at the helm. Nobody has touched anything except they fired everybody.
okay.
They fired the whole bunch of people. Like, what did they like? Who fixed it?
Damn it, you got me
Booty?
sounding like I'm defending Xbox over here. See what you done,
No, but
dude?
I don't know. Like, who at Xbox fixed Blizzard?
So-
Because all I saw their effect on Blizzard was they canceled BlizzCon and they got rid of like a whole bunch of people. That's the only intervention I saw from them with them. I don't know how much. Like Matt Booty went in there and fixed the Diablo. Rod Ferguson's still been there, so maybe Rod fixed it. But I don't know who else fixed it though. I don't think Microsoft fixed anything.
I think in firing some of the people that they fired, they in turn put a sense of urgency into. So here's the deal: if your boss comes in and fires, hell, if my boss comes in and let's say they fire a full third of our team for one reason or another, the rest of that team is now, like it or not, probably going to perform pretty dang well. When I was selling cars at the dealership, every month it was kind of sucky, but every month if the lowest person on the board was the lowest person on the board in sales for 2 months in a row, that guy was gone. And every month after a firing, the numbers magically at the dealership went through the roof. We set records.
Oh,
and shit.
so Microsoft scared people to work. They put fear in there. I was like, well, they pulled a Trump.
They went in and
They went in there and said, "You'll fire you. We'll fire you if you don't see what happened to them. That's going to happen to you. Fix the game."
Hey, it worked. Diablo 4 is fun as hell. I feel overpowered in that game from like level 4.
But you said they're on season 4. I haven't played Diablo 4, so I can't talk about the improvements of it. But all I know is that I don't remember seeing anything from Phil or any kind of Xbox executive saying like, we're fixing, like, we're hearing the feedback or anything like that. It seemed like Blizzard was running their own games.
And that might still be true.
But you're saying that by letting it go,
I'm saying
it
could have had an effect. That's what I'm saying. And
Crash Bang ain't fixing anything.
so Cosmic Hero said, I understand what Thrifty is saying, but I don't think Microsoft had any hand in it. You might be right. I'm just reading some tea leaves here. I'm doing what I do all the time on this channel and read tea leaves.
Hey, maybe they did. They fixed it. They canceled BlizzCon, so maybe they used that money and did something else with it.
Hey, I think they canceled BlizzCons because they don't have anything they want to show yet. And I think that's the real reason why they did it. Like, we have absolutely nothing. And probably because of the year and a half that everything was so in flux. Like, I think that this is the most honest part of the interview for Phil Spencer. I think that everything he is saying right here is 100% accurate. The people at the studios didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Folks didn't want to be bought by Microsoft. They didn't want to be owned by Microsoft. Shit product was released because the hearts weren't in it. Like, he didn't say that part, but like,
no, but he kind of
extrapolating
alluded to
out-
Redfall. I think he alluded to why Redfall was in such a mess that they didn't really pay attention because they were focused on the acquisition shit, that they kind of let Redfall slip through the cracks. That's what I took from that part.
Nelson
Because he said
Gaming
like, we
Culture.
made some mistakes and stuff like that. I think he was alluding to Redfall, like because they weren't aware of Redfall. Redfall surprised the shit out of them. That's why he took it on the chin.
This is
Like, and I think,
So
I think-
here's what Nelson said. He said, hey, the threats and layoffs worked at Bungie, a 95 Metacritic. When people's jobs are on the line, they remember how to do their job. Just saying. There's a perfect example. Sony comes in, Bungie has to clean house, and Bungie said, hey, Sony didn't do anything of this. Sony comes out and says, yeah, we kind of had a hand in it. But the fact is the team that was left was like, shit, we need to do something. And they released, I don't play Destiny, but from people in my chat and the Discord who do, it is the best version of Destiny they have ever played.
well, it's the end of it. They had to. There's nothing else left. They had to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
But I don't. I don't know. I can't. I don't think we can say they fixed it or didn't fix it. But I don't know about because laying off people could also unmotivate people as well. Like, you could be like, why the hell am I be here? My job is it could be a risk. Like, yeah,
Oh,
you could.
absolutely.
Because you got to look, like, the thing is also too, these were layoffs. These were not performance layoffs. These were just kind of like, we're getting rid of people because we need to make headroom. So therefore, like, it wasn't like, hey, we're getting rid of Bob, Phil, and Mary because they didn't do their job and this game came out like shit. So you're gone. So now you better do better because Bob and Mary got fired because their performance. No, they fired Bob and Mary because they were sitting around going, hey, we need to let some people go so we can have a show. They were layoffs. So, like, it wasn't performance driven. So, like, I don't think it would scare people to do their job because the people will hell, what was the other place? They were shut down just because they released a game. There was no metric as
I
to
heard
why
that
people were
part
laid off.
of your show last Monday. I was able to catch that. So last Monday, I had tried like 5 times to get my house in order so I could join your show. At one point, I was even in the Discord, and I was able to be in the Discord in the Discord waiting room for like 5 minutes. And
I didn't say it. I
no,
just
no,
put
no.
my Discord.
Dude, I'm so glad you didn't, because as soon as I jumped in the Discord, those 5 minutes went by, and my oldest son came out of his room because he had fallen asleep and had like a lucid dream that scared the shit out of him. So I had to go be dad and come to the rescue of that and like get him back in bed and get him calmed down. So like there was no chance in hell. So I caught the beginning of your show, and I caught like 8 o'clock to like 8:15.
I don't even know what I said.
And
So much has happened. I was on vacation.
You had pointed out that during the Tango Gameworks section of this interview earlier on in it, that his reasoning for closing the studios was so they could do a show.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so they
that's
could
what he said.
Continue to bring shows. And I
Bring
didn't-
shows like this. Yeah.
And I
That's what he
didn't
said.
hit it hard because you'd already done it. Like, if
He
anybody
did,
wants
he
to
did.
see that, go watch his show because he did phenomenal. It had the "We Suck Again." It had everything.
Oh, man.
It was great.
And they clapped, those sons of bitches.
They
They
clapped.
freaking clapped at that. Yo, yeah. He
Okay.
says that I had to shut those studios down. I had to do that. Like he basically said, I got to crack a few eggs to give him make an omelet. That's basically what he
Yep.
said, and they clapped. The dopey bastards in the crowd clapped for him because he's like, "Yo, we got to do these things kind of so we can keep bringing Xbox business and give you shows like this." And that's what he said, and they clapped.
But
And yeah,
uh,
fucking idiots.
okay, I'm gonna. They are fucking idiots. I
But
used to.
no, like for this part, what you're talking about here, I agree. Like he's probably honest in that ABK deal really drained a lot of stuff. Like I think we were even saying it when we were covering this thing, going like, how the hell are they making games and like how like they are just their emails are leaking. They have to get all these documents that guy was showing his PowerPoint chart, his circle with the green and the blue. Like there was, you don't even see that stuff in a bitch talk about the word Xbox doesn't even come out of that guy's mouth anymore. What is it, Brad Sam, whatever his name is, Brad Smith, whatever the hell his name is. You see how Xbox matters to him, dude. He showed up. He didn't see the word PlayStation and Xbox. That's what I mean. They are just such fake sons of bitches because they're just business people, and they are not consumer facing company at all. They are enterprise, big business. They do not know how to do consumer products. That's why
No.
Apple does what it does because Apple's built off consumerism. They're not built off of enterprise. Microsoft has enterprise. Everything they do is enterprise. They are suck at consumer facing products because they don't know how to market to a consumer. They just know how to market to big business. Buy all Windows computers, run your show. They're not used to like what's the individual needs or a customer's needs from a. That's why they shut down all those Microsoft stores because they don't know how to do customer relations. They do not know how to do customer electronics. Just look at that Windows shit, dude. They delayed all their AI shit because they had to pull out
Pause.
their friggin' we're gonna take screenshots of everything that you do, and it was like, no, you're not, and they had to pull it out.
You think you're
Businesses
going
are
to.
probably
No,
like,
you're
oh,
not.
that's yeah, business is like, oh, this is wonderful. We could catch all those people working from home and see what they do. Businesses love it, but when a consumer says, "Wait, I'm going to buy a laptop from Best Buy," and Satya Nadella is going to be taking pictures of my computer every single time and saving them where they could be uploaded to his computer somewhere and everything like that. They scrapped the whole thing. Now they pulled it out, delayed reviews. Now the AI thing is like that whole take screenshots. And what's crazy is that the messaging wasn't even like some peon from Microsoft or some PR person. It was the dopey Satya himself getting on that interview going, "We're going to take pictures of your computer and recall them," called recall. It's like, Satya, your dumbass couldn't even spin it. Nobody wants it.
So,
But that's Microsoft's problem.
speaking of spinning things,
Consumers.
we're going to stop the interview now. We're not going to get to the other topics tonight. Um, but I do want to ask you, Jez. So, earlier on in the show, I don't think you were here yet. When they were talking about they're focused on new hardware being forward compatible, okay? I
Oh,
had
you want the
asked,
grinds of Damas.
well, hang on. I asked the chat what in the actual hell forward compatible meant when it comes to hardware, because the only thing I can think of is my PC. I related it to the motherboard, I have the new platform in my computer, so that way, whenever I need to upgrade it in a few years, I can just pull out cards and put cards in and do whatever I have to do there. It's not going to be on the old Ryzen 5. Actually on the Ryzen 7 motherboard, even though my computer is kind of a mid-level computer. But that's all I know. And then Josh in the chat was like, basically what it means is that an old piece of hardware will be able to play new games probably via cloud. So then
Mm.
I made the correlation from that to the PlayStation Portal. People like to dog on the PlayStation Portal because all it does is links into a system to your system and allows you to play on a separate screen in handheld form, of course. So, what people at Xbox now are championing is this forward compatibility where you're going to have a device that hooks into your TV, that links into a server somewhere that you play the game on. Linked in, not natively. It's cloud-based if it's going to be this if we're following this train of thought. So that means that the whatever forward compatible hardware they're talking about would be nothing more than an oversized, overglorified PlayStation Portal that has to plug into your TV.
No, it's a hybrid.
Uh, so is it gonna play games natively, but then any
All right,
new
you want?
game
I
has to be
got you,
cloud?
Thrifty.
So yeah, I want
So
your thoughts on that.
there's a part in here in that interview, the final part where he confirms, he basically says about a portable device,
Okay.
and he says that from his perspective, Ryan Shaggy goes zoinks, and he asks him a question. He says, "Well, is it native or cloud?" And Phil's like, "Well, I'm gonna put it this way. My experience, I want the games to be played natively. So this is going to be a native device. It's not going to be a cloud only device." And I did my Grindadamus on Monday. It was on Monday or Friday, whenever the show before I did. And I'm going to double down on it because this is what I think they mean by forward compatibility. I'm going to drop it here on Thrifty. So you got it on the Gaming Grindhouse, and you're going to have on Thrifty Show because you're not going to hear it anywhere else. I'm not spreading the news.
Sleeve monkeys in the chat. Pay attention.
I'm telling you right now, forward compatibility, which she is working on. I talked about that Windows on ARM shit. Windows on ARM, they want this mobile. The next Xbox is basically going to be a Windows device. That's why they alluded to Steam, Epic Store, all this crap, because it's going to be a Windows. I think it's going to be a Windows ARM device, and it is going to be like an Asus ROG Ally. But what the forward compatibility is that Sarah's team is working on, I think, is an Xbox emulator that all your console games will run on a Windows PC. Because if you see a game has to run on Xbox, then they got to make it for Windows, and then they got to make it for cloud. The problem is that that's two different developments. When they make it for PC, I think they're trying to make that the games from your console will work on either the Xbox app or via an emulator or something like that, where they're able to emulate to take your games with you off the console into the future. That's their future is Windows. Their future is not Xbox anymore. Xbox will be a brand, a label, an app that will basically house the emulator and your Xbox collection. But what they want people off of the console. So I think that hybrid console that's going to come out will be some sort of Windows device, so you could sideload all your Steam and all that other stuff, but it'll also be able to emulate Xbox games. So everything you buy, 360 games, all that stuff that you had that are not on PC, not in the Windows Store, will work with you on this new Xbox. So it's a hybrid. And then I was even thinking, and again, this is all me speculating, then what I think is this hybrid cloud is that the game will run natively, but will probably run better, like 4K streaming of textures and stuff like that, if it's connected to a Wi-Fi. They're already doing this stuff with Call of Duty. Call of Duty, the campaign, if it's hooked up, has to be online because it's streaming assets from the internet. I think previous Call of Duties have done it already. But I think maybe they'll have some games where they'll run at a certain aspect or a certain kind of configuration, and then if you hook it up to Wi-Fi, the cloud will allow for more enhancements to the game. Whether it could be run higher textures or something like that. So it'll work hybrid wise. It'll be able to run natively and not run it, and so therefore you kind of save on battery life in the sense that you're not running the game natively at its fullest, like 4K, all this other stuff on a small screen, and wasting battery life. But when you're hooked up to the internet, it'll give you some more. So it's off there, and it'll save on battery life. Because that's the problem. When he said natively, because I know what you mean, like a Portal, that's the one thing. Because I have the Legion Go, and I have the Portal, and the Portal, when I play it, I feel like I could play a bunch of hours and not worry about it. When I play on my Legion Go, I know I got about, if I play like a high intense game, like a Banishers or something like that, I'm pressed for time. That thing's going from 90% to 85 to 70%. I know I got an hour or two. But the Portal runs about 4 hours, 5 hours or so, because you're just streaming video.
And what's
where
funny is
the
I
Legion Go is
never
running
gamed
it
for
natively.
that long at one time, anyways. Like, I've played the Portal.
Well, if it's your own console, because but if their whole console is going to be that, like, yeah, I understand. Like, you're not sitting there 4 hours, 5 hours with the thing, in your hands and stuff like that.
I
So,
might.
I
So
understand.
what's really cool is I'm actually going to Tennessee here in a couple weeks. I'm still going to do the show but we're going to do it old school. We're going to go back to doing it via the PlayStation.
There you
But
go.
I am going to do it via the PlayStation, via the portal on my brother-in-law's Wi-Fi at their house. So we're going to put the
Oof.
portal through its damn paces that night and see, which is why I'm really happy that it's made it to where you can connect to other networks now.
Yes, I just had that issue when I was away. Like, I could not connect it to the hotel network because I had to go to the browser. So I wound up using my phone. And I told you, you know what? I didn't even play it because it was too laggy. Um, and it made me appreciate native portable gaming and not relying on a Wi-Fi. Because around the house, that portal is creme de la creme,
Hmm.
incredible. But once you leave that house, you're at the mercy of the internet and the bandwidth. And I used my Wi-Fi share. I try to use my connection, and it played. It looked good, but there was so much lag in the controls. Like, I could probably like get through it, but it was off.
Yeah,
And
and the only thing I've really had a problem with on it, and just being honest, the only thing I've ever had a problem with was I can't remember what game I was playing. It was probably Diablo. But because I play Diablo, I've played more Diablo on my Portal than I have on my actual PlayStation. I love Diablo on the Portal. It is like it's the perfect type of game for the port. Anyways, this is not ball washing Diablo. This is talking about the Portal real quick. It's There was one time where like for some reason it just like stopped working, like the internet died at my house. And like thankfully
oh my
I was
god,
in Kavashad, I think is the name of it. I was in one of the big cities there, or one of the big villages or whatever, and so I couldn't die, but I had to reset my house internet. That was the only time I have
oh
had an issue that wasn't hard baked into the game. Diablo 4, if you play in the multiplayer season mode where people can just jump in and out of the game and stuff like that, you'll sometimes get rubber banding. It's not
yes,
as
I've had
bad.
that.
Oh my god, it's so annoying. It's not as bad as it was in Diablo 2 Resurrected or even in Diablo 3. So kudos to them, but every so often you'll get it to where your character is supposed to be moving through a doorway and he just like stops and then all of a sudden he's behind the doorway and you're like, what the
Yeah,
fuck, what happened? And that's what rubber banding is. It's when your character moves backwards or forwards extremely quickly when you're not telling it
like
to
fast
at
forwarding a
that
video.
moment. Right. Yeah, it's literally like a time skip of like a half a second.
Yeah,
And but that's hard baked into Diablo games. It's part of their charm. But
uh, that
the
quality.
like quality, right? But a company that's like hasn't made a lot of multiplayer games, hasn't done a lot of games based on servers and things like that, we got to give them a break for not knowing how to like stop rubber banding. I'm
Yeah,
being
I tried X
facetious.
Defiant on it, and that was like, that's shit servers anyway. But like, that was too. I could not play that on the portal remotely. I get all like, cause this shooter and stuff like that, and being online and Ubisoft servers and things like that. But yeah, there's some games like I think that it's great. I played Grand Blue Fantasy on there. I played Final Fantasy Stellar Blade. It actually worked well, with the timing of the parries and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, and around the house is great. But man, it is the Wild West when you take it out of the home network. And
Yeah, and it is.
yeah,
And when I'm
that's
when I'm using my
yeah,
phone and as the hotspot, right? When I'm using that, it's not awful as long as I'm in a metropolitan area. Does that make
yeah.
sense? Like, so
Yeah, and
this
if
is
you're
where
not
I'm
moving,
excited.
because like it varies. Like, you gotta, if you're staying still and you're on no hotspot's good. But like if you're like, hey, let me turn on my phone as a hotspot and let's start driving the car and stuff like that. Like, it may not be the most ideal experience there. Like, I think this whole, and this kind of ties into what you're saying, like, with this whole forward compatibility and with the next Xbox. I think the next PlayStation Portal 2 will be something that will be kind of like maybe have some sort of native gaming to it. Obviously, it'd be more than $200, but I think that will be kind of like its iteration of that, where you could take your PlayStation games on the go natively. Like I think that's the next iteration of this. Like I think also too, I want to see if the Pro, when it gets announced, like you said, forward compatibility. What enhancements does the Pro have that makes the Portal better? Because that's the other thing. You're right. That device is just a window. It's a portal.
Mhm.
Like the hardware it's streaming from can make that system better because it's dependent on the
Mhm.
hardware. So if you're running from a Pro, do you get, maybe you get better streaming or something like that, or even like maybe super sampled or something like that, like streaming. I don't know. To it. Whereas if you're streaming from a regular base PlayStation, the Portal just does what it's doing now. So that's another thing with forward compatibility. Like with that Portal, it may improve the experience when you're streaming from different hardware. So that without having to buy a new portable device. So I'm eager to see that.
I am still going to I'm still going to hold to my thought that by the time the PS6 comes out, oh no, yes. By the time the PS6 comes out, I know you were talking about the PS5 Pro, but by the time the 6
Yeah.
comes out, I believe that they will do a full-blown native hybrid cloud game or handheld. I fully believe that. And
In addition to the PS6.
and what's really funny, and this is what makes me laugh. Mark Cerny comes out and says it takes 4 years to build hardware. To build new hardware takes about 4 years. Xbox is talking about building its native handheld. We haven't seen blueprints. We haven't seen concept design. We haven't seen anything.
It's
So-
Asus ROG Ally, basically.
Right.
The ROG.
So while PlayStation has already built a handheld, even though it's a current gen handheld, even though it's just
But
a
you're right.
portal.
But it's all done. Like the hardware is done. They just need to expand off of that. Like just
Exactly.
make thicker, put a process, like put a motherboard in it, put the APU in it, and
Done.
let's go.
And by
You're
the
done.
by the time
You got your form
Xbox
factor.
releases theirs, Sony will have one as well. So they're not doing anything that I believe Sony isn't already going to be doing. And that's the problem. We talked about that earlier. Nothing is setting Xbox apart. Emmanuel and I talked about this earlier. Nothing is setting Xbox apart at all as the preferred place to play any damn thing. Not anymore. Like none of their
Well,
games. None of their
But
games.
see, that's why I think the next when they make this announcement of what this next thing is, it is going to be the change and everything. Like I think the idea of a console and what Xbox is, that will be the final definition of it, because I think Xbox will be the app that's on PC, and they will have a big picture Steam mode, like a big picture mode, and there's your Xbox interface. So every PC now is basically an Xbox with the Xbox interface because it has big picture mode on the Xbox app. And I think this portable Xbox will be something where either, I don't know if this emulator or something could be put on all Windows computers, I'm sure it will, or it will be just proprietary to their system. But I think the next system is going to be Windows based. It's not going to have like an Xbox kernel like operating system and be the console that I think they're going to move everybody to a Windows system, and basically it's the saddest thing because that's exactly what they didn't want the first Xbox to be. That wasn't the purpose of Xbox, and Bill Gates wanted Xbox to run Windows, and they said no, and they had to fight Bill Gates on. If you go back to listen to it, they had to tell, and Bill Gates like, what? If you remember, it was the Valentine's Day massacre, which is crazy because Phil did his massacre this year, but he basically said, we don't want Windows. I want Windows on this. They're like, no, we don't want an Xbox with Windows. They don't want Windows. We just want to do our own thing. And they had to fight Bill Gates on it, and then eventually they agreed to it. But now they came full circle, and I think Xbox now, their future is Windows on ARM and Windows. The console operating system has no inherent benefit. That's why I think even games skipping it, they don't care because everything that's on an Xbox, they're working on pulling it off of that and having it work on PC, and therefore you'll get all your games on the next Xbox, regardless of what games are skipping it now, because your next console will be basically everything, a Windows computer. And that's where I think their future is. That's why I think that they're not breaking the bank or going crazy over these games skipping them. Like, because I don't think Microsoft even cares because they know that, hey, like we'll keep this console here for those that care about it, but our next vision is going to be a transitional console, and that transitional console is going to be that portable, and it's going to introduce Windows because I don't think they could drop an Xbox Series X with Windows on it. I think that would be too crazy. But this portable device, people already familiar with Windows on the go with the ROG and the Legion. I think that was a more palatable type of transitional console for them. PlayStation, on the other hand, I think they will do some sort of portable thing there and just enhance off the Portal and do a Portal 2. But I think the major thing is that the games, what I like about the whole thing that all of them are doing is they're basically copying the Switch, but they're doing it better because they're making, well, I don't know what Xbox is doing, but I think Sony's keeping the power there. Like they're not compromising and giving you this kind of portable tablet and compromising their games. They're still able to run their games in their full fidelity at home when you want it, but then you could also access them on the go. That's what I want. I don't want to have a system like a Switch that's compromised to be mobile first, and the games now have to be limited because they have to work on a tablet,
Oh,
and
hey,
then they don't scale up very effectively.
I think. Okay. Guys, if y'all can still hear what's going on, please let me know.
Oh
My,
shit, what happened?
my,
Let me see.
well, dude, stupid freaking Streamlabs did this crap earlier where it's like completely glitched. I can't see any of the microphone stuff. I can't see the
Oh
desktop
yeah, it
audio.
froze.
It is froze.
Yeah,
And
I can't even hear the audio. Oh wait, they said it can hear
they
us,
said they can hear us.
but
I
I
can't
can't hear it.
I can't do a dang thing. I can't switch screens. I can't do nothing. Interesting. Let me close some windows. This is weird because I just checked my performance and it said it was fine. Okay, so without the risk of this thing just cutting off on us, we are going to go ahead and end it. It's been 3 hours now, and it's midnight. It's actually it's 1 o'clock for Jez. Good God,
Oh
I don't know
yeah,
how you're still breathing. I
vacation
would be
mode.
passed
Nah,
out by
man,
this
I'm good.
point. Um, but I'm gonna have to close down Streamlabs to get it to end the stream now. So, anyways, follow Emmanuel. I'm gonna get his link put in once my computer stops being stupid. I'll get his link put into the description. Everybody here knows Jez. If you don't, Gaming Grindhouse, go follow it. YouTube channel. Literally one of the best, if not the best, solo streamer I
Oh,
have
those
ever heard. Uh,
what?
his shows are freaking hilarious. Fun fact: if just be sure to know who you're around when you're watching them. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
They are amazing shows.
it's E for everyone. What are you
It
talking about? It's E for
everyone can get those hands, I promise. Uh,
everybody. Get those hands.
but
Yeah,
it,
I'll get a show out there later this week, probably on Friday, to kind of talk about Nintendo things and
dude,
some
they
of the
were
stuff.
asking me about you, but I figured
Oh
out that it
shit.
froze because somebody in the Discord sent me something, and I wanted to be able to share it. Actually, you know what? Last time that I had Discord open, it kind of fucked off everything. So give me just a sec. Jez, don't go anywhere. I won't be able to hear you for just a second. I'm going to close
Nelson
Discord
says
and
his
come
kids love it. See,
right
it's for the
back.
kids.
All right. So I just shut down
It's for
Discord.
the kids.
Oh, well, I thought I did. Hang on. Let me quit Discord real quick and load it back in. Hang on. All right. We are going to end Discord. Y'all should still be able to hear me, but you can't hear Jez. And we're going to see if that fixes this stupid thing like it did before. Because that's freaking annoying. Let me. No, it didn't. This is bullshit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open back up Discord and get Jez back in here. Oh, that's bull crap. Oh, and now Discord is doing 1,000 updates. Well, fuck me. No, it's not. Here we go. It says you were in a voice channel last time. Yes, reconnect. Okay. Jez, you still there?
Xbox winning over there.
All right. So, yeah, this whole thing is still foobarred. Oh, wait. I think
know.
we
Is it
might
still
be
there?
back now.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are still live.
I can't even hear myself.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
they
there
can't
it
hear
is.
you. Stay thrifty and the P-Rock's voice.
Yeah, but I can't even hear
Xbox
it.
is dog shit. Okay, well, guys, Jez is still here. He says he likes y'all, he hates y'all, he wants y'all to stay around. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't say any of that. He just said he can't hear
You
y'all.
can hear me? You just hear me?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, but I don't know if they
Thrifty left
do,
me.
and I can't
Thrifty left
hear
me
you.
run the Thrifty show.
We can. Okay, hang on. This action cannot be performed. Interact. Okay, wait. Why is
Oh no.
I have no
I'll tell you a
idea.
story. If you are in Australia, yes, that's right. Last of Us Part 2. That's what got me on the show. Is the calling about the Last of Us Part 2. Definitely,
All right.
such a good game. But you want to know what's funny? If here or there, none, if you are from Australia, you want to know what my background for the longest time was on my PC and on my Xbox 360 was when they launched the 360 in Sydney, Australia. And they had everybody lined up and have everybody on from the beach have Xbox 360. They had people lined up and they spelled the words Xbox 360. That was like my background for like the longest time on my Xbox.
Yeah, this sucks. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it.
Gotcha.
Sorry about the weird crap that's going on, at least on my end.
Thanks, man. But yeah, that was my crazy thing because I remember they did a big push. Australia was huge for Xbox. I remember that they went to Sydney and they did that thing. But that was like my background on everything. Yeah, I forgot. Man, if I could find it, I'll post it. I'll get it on my show. I'll find it. But it was like when the 360 launched, they had the people lined up. But yeah, they had them all lined up, and they spelled the words Xbox 360 on one of the famous beaches over there. And they had like an aerial shot of it. And that was like my background for the longest time.
Okay, hang on. Chat started moving again.
Good old days.
Give me just
360.
Yep. I can
Oh
I
man,
can actually interact with the chat. All right, guys. Thank y'all for an awesome show.
They
Jez,
did, man.
Thank you
They
for
did.
stopping by.
They did. You lost that way.
Jez, can you hear me?
Where'd Thrifty go?
Can you hear me at all?
They did. They lost their way. They did. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm coming up with all these grindadamas things about this future here. But who the hell knows?
All right. So
But guess what? All of it doesn't matter. This is what you say. You hear it on my show all the time. And you Thrifty the same way. It doesn't matter if it's hybrids, if it's portable devices, if it's streaming, if it's native, if it's in the cloud, if it's a Series L, or if it's a Portal 2s and 3s. It doesn't matter what the hell the hardware is if the games don't deliver. Just like the showcase. Oh, what a great show Xbox had. It is long forgotten now. Nintendo had their show. Xbox show, you're back to waiting. I'm just telling you. The games need to deliver. And then the hardware is the second part. But it doesn't matter how many hybrids and cheap devices, expensive, powerful. It does not matter unless the games deliver.
All right. I am ending
That's
it.
the difference. Shows are not games. They're not games.